Chapter 844. Shadowless. Chapter 844. Shadowless. He was already at Foundation Establishment State. Yemo wanted to see if he could go into the Golden Page world. With just this thought, he appeared in the Golden Page world the next moment. Yemo rejoiced. He was indeed able to go there after reaching Foundation Establishment State. He found that the Golden Page world was tens of times larger than before. It had tens of kilometers of land. What shook him even more was that the spirit chi inside was the same as the outside, which meant that he could stay inside there and cultivate. Yemo was wondering if he would be able to take people inside or plant spirit herbs there in the future. Immediately, the Golden Page world sent him the message that the Golden Page world belonged to him, but he needed to be at least at truth realization state before he could take people inside. However, he could bring beasts that were weaker than him and plant herbs too inside. He turned around and saw the two big eggs, which were still in the Golden Page world. Yemo sat down and decided to digest the second purple lotus before trying to spirit control the egg. Yemo ate another lotus and started running the three-birth chant. A much larger spirit chi world than at chi gathering stage was formed, but then it gradually turned into a waterfall. Yemo felt that his cultivation essence was getting more and more refined. He broke through level 2 without any complications and reached level 3 Foundation Establishment State. After an unknown amount of time, Yemo woke up and found that he was at level 3 Middle Stage. He was just one step away from Foundation Establishment State Middle Stage. However, Yemo didn't go for Foundation Establishment State Middle Stage. He had realized that although his spirit chi devouring speed was still the same, his cultivation speed had slowed down. Yet Yemo wasn't worried at all. He knew that the denser the spirit chi, the faster he would cultivate. The three-birth chant had a big stomach for spirit chi. He just needed to find a place with dense spirit chi, make a spirit gathering formation, and he wouldn't have to worry about cultivation at all. Moreover, Yemo was also a pill master. In time, he would be able to make all the pills he needed. Yemo swiped the air with his flying sword casually, and tens of sword rays got formed almost instantly inside the Golden Page world. So powerful. Yemo rejoiced. He put away the flying sword and stopped practicing the three-birth sword ray. Instead, he picked up the egg and started spirit controlling the frosty streams inside. Yemo was many times faster at spirit controlling now that he had reached Foundation Establishment State. That dark gray ball appeared in his sea of consciousness from the Golden Page world. It grew bigger and bigger until it got to the size of an egg. He felt it was a big killing move, no weaker than his three-birth sword ray. With its will, it could emit unlimited frost, which would freeze the enemy. "I'll call you Winter's Arrival," Yemo said, and he summoned the ball out. Yemo felt that there were more frost flows inside the egg. He believed that if he had spirit controlled all of it, it might have formed a fist-sized Winter's Arrival ball. Yet when he tried to spirit control more frost flows, it suddenly stopped. Yemo checked what was going on and found that the egg in his hand was slowly cracking. Yemo was shocked and quickly placed it on the ground. As soon as he did, it completely cracked open, and what came out of the egg shook him again. It was a gray insect. It was the size of a pea. That football-sized egg had hatched a pea-sized insect. Yemo was speechless. However, what shook Yemo even more was that the insect started to eat the huge eggshell. How could a pea-sized insect eat eggshells that big? But the little guy ate it all, and very fast as well. Then, he found that the insect didn't get bigger at all, but a faint golden color did appear on his gray body. Was it really a goo? Yemo tried to communicate with it with his spirit sense. The small bug felt Yemo's spirit sense and landed on his hand with such extreme speed that even Yemo wasn't able to react. So fast, when his spirit sense connected to the bug, he immediately had a sense of connection. This little guy had chose him as master. Soon he realized that it wasn't a goo, but a type of worm. Its full name was Shadowless Tau Worm. Yemo had never heard of such name before, but he had a feeling that it was something very substantial. "I'll call you Shadowless from now on," Yemo named it. Shadowless heard this and made a very loud, sharp call. Yemo took out an essence-increasing pill, a purple lotus, and spirit stones. He placed them in front of Shadowless. It charged at the purple lotus without hesitation, and after a brief moment, it was already in its stomach. Yemo then glanced at the other egg. Was that also another shadowless Tao worm? Without hesitation, Yemo started to spirit control the other egg. But what disappointed him was that he couldn't spirit control the frost stream in the other egg no matter what. What was going on? Yemo tried again and again, but he felt like the egg didn't seem to belong to him. Was it due to the Nye Shuangshuang? Yemo subconsciously glanced at Nye Shuangshuang, who looked like she was asleep. She was dead, though. Yemo tried a few times and gave up. He placed the huge egg next to Nye Shuangshuang. He was already satisfied with Winter's arrival and Shadowless. He didn't know how strong Shadowless was yet, but from its stomach and speed, Yemo could tell it was no pushover. Shadowless flew to a corner of the Golden Page world and stopped moving, but Yemo could feel spirit chi flowing towards it. Chapter 845, Burning in Fury. Chapter 845, Burning in Fury. Yemo stopped cultivating and started to go through the storage bags. Yemo got 10,000 low-grade spirit stones from Libalan and 300 middle-grade spirit stones, as well as a few more level 5 runes, some herbs, and beast materials. Tong Juntan also had some spirit stones, but all of these were poor quality. Yemo put the materials, the storage bags, and some low-level magic artifacts together. He was planning on selling them. He had more than 13,000 low-grade spirit stones and more than 300 middle-grade spirit stones. It was quite a lot for Yemo now. Yemo then exited the Golden Page world. He was prepared to go back and find Song Yangzhu, and Yiling. Yemo arrived at the valley and scanned his spirit sense, where he realized that his spirit sense could reach 150 kilometers. It was insane. It was morning, and Yemo took out his flying sword. Before the bear could react, he flew away in a ray of purple light. The bear saw the light, but he was lazy. As long as he didn't get invaded, he didn't even want to chase it. The previous 2-day-long journey only took Yemo 4 hours this time. Not far from where he had killed Li Belan, 4 chi-gathering cultivators were attacking a level 3 horned tiger. This horned tiger seemed weaker than the crocodile, but the 4 cultivators weren't as strong as Li Belan, so they were in a clear disadvantage. The horned tiger was a fire element beast and spat out a fireball. A chi-gathering stage 8 cultivator wasn't able to dodge it and was sent up in the air. The remaining 3 were in an even more dire situation, but they didn't dare to run because the first who tried to run wouldn't be able to escape the fireball. The horned tiger had a habit of thinking that if one tried to escape, this person would be the one he'd hunt down first. Yemo saw that one of the 3 cultivators was from his sect, and he wanted to help them. The tiger had just reached level 3, and it was at most equal to Foundation Establishment State Level 1. Without hesitation, Yemo's flying sword shot a sword chi at the tiger. The tiger felt the threat and spat multiple fireballs at the flying sword, but Yemo's flying sword annihilated the fireballs. Before the tiger could fire the second wave, he also shot multiple sword rays. The flying sword didn't reach the tiger yet, but the sword rays had already pierced the tiger's vitals. Yemo didn't want to show too much, so he didn't use more sword rays. Instead, he controlled his flying sword and sliced off the horned tiger's head with an almost 3-meter-sized sword chi. The 3 chi-gathering state cultivators were dazed for a long time. It was a level 3 tiger. Even an ordinary Foundation Establishment state wouldn't be able to kill it so easily. They soon realized that they had been saved and went to thank Yemo. Another reason Yemo had helped them was to ask what date it was, as he didn't know how long he had been cultivating. Qianbei is from the Zhangyuan sect too? The other chi-gathering asked, shaking with excitement. Yemo nodded. Yes, I haven't been back for a long time. Could you tell me whether the disciple intake period has passed? Yemo remembered that he had gone to the sect a few days before it. When he arrived at the mountains, it was the time for disciple recruitment. The sect member heard this and answered carefully, it was 3 months ago. 3 months? Yemo was dazed. He didn't think he had been out for this long. Did Qianbei hear about Li Qianbei's wedding? Are you going back to celebrate? Many of our sect's Foundation Establishment State Qianbei are returning for the wedding, the chi-gathering member said. Li Qianbei's wedding? Which Li Qianbei? What's going on? Yemo asked. The chi-gathering member was also dazed at the fact that Yemo didn't know, but he quickly replied, 3 months ago, Li Bison Qianbei's brother, Li Belan. was killed in the All-Herb mountain ranges. Li Baosinqianbei immediately went to investigate and found out that it had been a few members from the three-star Lanfeng sect. He killed these sect members, but he didn't stop there. Instead, he attacked the Lanfeng sect. Yimo frowned. He was the one that killed Li Balan, yet Li Baosin had put the blame on someone else. It made him feel uncomfortable, although this was right in the eyes of the people in this realm. Li Qianbei realized that he had wronged the Lanfeng sect. However, he said that even if he had been wrong, as long as there was a slim of suspicion, he would kill all of the Lanfeng sect. Yimo sneered. Although Li Baosin was at Foundation Establishment State peak, he still dared have killing intent towards a greater power. The Qi-gathering man peeked at Yimo and said quietly, when the sect leader of Lanfeng sect explained that Li Balan's death had nothing to do with them and that he was willing to organize a union marriage with Li Qianbei and their genius disciple, Ji Yin, Li Qianbei agreed and gave up the thought of annihilating the sect. Yimo's expression sunk and he asked coldly, since Li Baosin already knows it wasn't the Lanfeng sect who killed his brother, did he find out who did it? The cultivator nodded. Apparently someone from our sect did it, but he has gone missing. However, his wife and sister are still in the sect. Li Qianbei decided to deal with them first. Bastard! Yimo's fury soared, and he instantly disappeared. The other cultivator said, why do I feel like he's calling Li Baosinqianbei a bastard? Yimo felt like he had been too naive. He had thought Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling would be fine with a Golden Core State middle stage master, but when facing benefits and power, other people were unreliable. He had been planning on finding Yimo first, but after hearing this, he had decided that no matter where he went, he would take them with him. Yimo desired power even more now. If he was at truth realization state, he could take people into his golden page world. But if he was at truth realization state, would he even need to run? He would only need to wave his hand, and Li Baosin would turn into pulp. Yimo's speed was at maximum now. Soon, he had covered nearly a 10,000 kilometers distance. 2 hours later, Yimo arrived at the sect and subconsciously scanned where he was staying at. He was planning on going to Yin Yuan Peak immediately. Even if the elder was at Golden Core State, he would take Song Yangzhu and Yiling away. Chapter 846, The Sealed Door. Chapter 846, The Sealed Door. However, Yimo found Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling at his place. Yet soon he realized why they were there. His place had been surrounded by multiple Qi gathering and a Foundation Establishment State cultivators. Clearly, they were waiting for him to come back. Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling were anxious. They didn't know what to do, and they could only sit in the house, waiting for fate to arrive. Stop. No one is allowed near here. Yimo was stopped by 2 Qi gathering level 8 cultivators. P***off. Yimo kicked the 2 cultivators, who were thrown tens of meters away and unable to get up. It wasn't that Yimo didn't want to kill them, but that he knew he couldn't kill in the sect yet. Yimo, brother. Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling had heard the movements outside and saw Yimo's return. They couldn't help but to run to Yimo's arms together. Yimo's heart finally rested at ease seeing them. He had calmed down. He knew that the next enemy he would face was a Foundation Establishment State peak master who was perhaps at Golden Core State. Yimo was confident, but he didn't think he could beat a Golden Core State yet. No matter how strong his 3 birth chant was, he couldn't take on a Golden Core State master at Foundation Establishment State level 3. If he had been level 7 or above, he would have had a sliver of hope. He could only hope that Li Baosin wasn't at Golden Core State yet. Brother, you need to leave quickly. That Li Baosin locked us here as bait for your return. He said you killed Li Balan, Yiling said. Song Yangzhu didn't say anything. She knew that even if she did, Yimo would never leave them behind. Yimo patted Yiling's shoulder and didn't say anything. He knew she would understand what he meant. Yimo's spirit sense scanned and saw that 2 Qi gathering cultivators had left to notify Li Baosin. Yimo didn't care. He didn't try to run, as he knew he wouldn't be able to get away now. He knew there were masters watching the scene, and Yimo could feel a hidden, strong spirit sense. That person didn't come over, but Yimo knew he was at least at Foundation Establishment State tertiary stage. He wouldn't have feared if Hadbin was by himself, but he had Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling with him. He couldn't escape. Yimo checked their powers. Song Yangzhu was at level 3 Qi gathering, and Yiling was actually at level 4. He looked at Song Yangzhu and asked, "Why would you be out? Where is your master? Did she not care at all?" Song Yangzhu shook her head and said, "We were progressing very fast at the peak. But 10 days ago, 2 Golden Core State Elders invited my master to go on a search to an ancient ruin, so my master left." Yimo realized that it wasn't that Li Yuqian hadn't intervened, but she had been drawn away. Although Yimo didn't know their master, he believed she wasn't someone that would betray her own disciples. Yiling said, "After a few days master had left, we got news that someone from the outer sect was challenging the number 1 of Qi gathering state, Fui Shuang. We wanted to see if it was you, so we came out. We thought it would be very hard for us to get out, but we got out very easily." Song Yangzhu nodded. "Yes, we came here, and we were immediately locked up. If that Li Bailson hadn't been trying to get you to come back, Yimo's heart was burning even more, yet he grew calmer and calmer. He knew that Song Yangzhu and Yiling shouldn't have been able to leave Yin Yuan Peak so easily. It could only mean that there was a traitor there who had been bought by Li Bailson. Yimo decided to no longer let the two stay there. He had to take them away. Yimo had made up his mind to build his own power, just like Luo Yu on Earth. It was best to build that place in the South Peace State. However, even if he managed to get there, his power would be at the bottom. The North Far State had the lowest cultivation level on the Luo Yu continent, but it suited Yimo to build his foundation. "Perhaps one day, I can build a strong sect that will dominate the entire Luo Yu continent," Yimo murmured. On Luo Yu continent, you needed power to get more cultivation resources. The best way was to build your own power, so you didn't have to rely on others. "Brother, do you also want to build a Luo Yu city here?" Yiling asked quietly. Yimo nodded. "Yes, although I haven't decided if I should build a city, your idea is good. Perhaps I really should do it." "Brother, have you been here a long time ago? Why does our Luo Yu city have the same name as this continent?" Yiling asked. Yimo scratched his nose in awkwardness and pulled the two of them. "Let's talk about this later on. We'll go to the mission hall first." Yimo wasn't going there to do missions. He was going there to exchange goods. He had a level 3 beast pill and many spirit herbs. He was planning on exchanging them for a Ming Yuan pill. It made cultivators below level 6 foundation establishment state go a level higher. However, it could only be used once and it had side effects. But Yimo didn't care. He was at level 3. After using that, he would be at stage 4. It was just one level, but the difference was huge. One was at foundation establishment state primary stage, while the other was middle stage. If he reached foundation establishment state middle stage, he would have a much better chance at dealing with Li Bailson. As for the side effects, Yimo really didn't care. He had the 10,000-year-old stalagmite marrow, and the stalagmite pill could mitigate any side effects. The Ming Yuan pill was precious, but Yimo believed he could get it as he still had the bitter 10 years. It wasn't much use to him anymore, so if worse came to worse, he would trade it with that. He could also trade it for the foundation establishment pill, but he wasn't an idiot. Even taking out the bitter 10 years would be dangerous for him with his current power. Yimo took the two women to the door, but he was stopped by a middle-aged man cultivator. There were 4 or 5 Qi gathering cultivators behind him. Not far away, hundreds of other disciples were watching. Yiling and Song Yangzhu saw the cultivator and their face changed. Yiling whispered to Yimo, "Brother, that guy is at foundation establishment state. Only foundation establishment state cultivators can wear that sort of clothes." Yimo squeezed Yiling's hand and said to the foundation establishment state cultivator, "This is my place. What are you guys doing at my door?" The foundation establishment state cultivator looked at Yimo in contempt and said, "What am I doing? I'm telling you to P*S off inside or I will teach you a lesson." Chapter 847, Instant Kill. Foundation Establishment State Level 1. Chapter 847, Instant Kill. Foundation Establishment State Level 1. Yimo suddenly laughed. "Fellow members of the Zhang Yuan Sword Sect, I think everyone understands the rules of the sect. One of them is that no sect member is allowed to intentionally steal of a fellow member's home. Yet, someone is doing this to my home today. What do the sect rules say I should do?" The surrounding crowd was silent. Some people even started to scorn Yimo. According to the rules, one could kill without hesitation, but this rule only applied to ordinary members. Even if this Foundation establishment state Shinbei killed their outer sect member, he would only be punished lightly, much less for sealing off his door. Yimo sneered and said lowly, I was going to kill this guy who is sealing off my home, but considering we're from the same sect, I'll just lay waste to him. I'm sure someone has already recorded my words with a crystal ball. Yimo's words sounded, but there was a roar of laughter after the initial silence. Yimo sent out his flying sword. It wasn't fast, after all. On the surface, he was only at Qi gathering stage 8. But it pierced the Foundation establishment state's dantian silently, just like what Yimo had said he was going to do. The Foundation establishment state cultivator sneered. A mere stage 8 Qi gathering cultivator dared to do this in front of him. He grabbed the flying sword, which was like a metal rod to him. Yet, the flying sword pierced the hand of the Foundation establishment state cultivator without resistance and stabbed his dantian with the same speed. Then, the flying sword flew back to his hand. The Foundation establishment state cultivator looked dazedly at his pierced dantian and half of his left hand. He was speechless. You're at Foundation establishment state, the cultivator mumbled after a long while. Yimo sneered. A mere Foundation establishment state level 1 cultivator dares to lock my home. I said I won't kill you, so I won't. Soft. Then, Yimo scanned his spirit sense out and raised his power. He was clearly at level 3 Foundation establishment state. Those watching the show quickly retreated. The few Qi gathering disciples following the Foundation establishment state cultivator also quickly moved aside. Yimo saw the crowd retreat and pulled Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling's hand saying, Let's go. Huh, brother, you've reached Foundation establishment state? Yi Ling understood how hard it was to reach Foundation establishment state after staying in the cultivation realm for a few months. Yimo nodded. Yes, I have reached Foundation establishment state, but don't worry. If you cultivate with me, Foundation establishment state won't be hard. Yimo wasn't bluffing. He had the Foundation establishment pill, and he was a pill master. By the way, where is Silver? Yimo remembered that it belonged to Ning Qingxue, and he didn't want anything to happen to it. Song Yangzhu quickly said, It is in the Yin Yuan Peak. Are we going to leave the sect? I'll bring her here. Yimo waved his hand. No rush. We're not betraying the sect. Let's go get a mission and do it. We'll take Silver after picking up a mission. Brother, are we going to roam the world from now on? I love it. Yiling clearly had been watching too many TV dramas. The crowd whispered amongst themselves. Although Li Bailson was the #1 person under Golden Core State, he couldn't so casually attack a Foundation establishment state cultivator. Yimo took the two women to the mission hall, but he realized that Li Bailson wasn't back yet. He was quite bewildered and asked Yiling, Yiling, do you know where that Li scum went? Yiling thought for a while before saying, I heard people say that he went to some auction, so he's not back yet. He had gone to auction? If he really was gone, then he could take them and leave now. However, Yimo knew that even if he was going to leave, he had to get a mission from the mission hall. The mission hall was full, like usual. Yimo looked at the mission screen and said to Song Yangzhu, You and Yiling go take a mission. Remember, the further away the mission, the better. If not, just choose one from the All Herbs mountain ranges, regardless of the difficulty or the reward. Song Yangzhu nodded. She could tell that Yimo was prepared to take them away from sect. Yimo watched the two women leave and afterwards went to the exchange place to get a Ming Yuan pill. There were also some people there, but far less than at the mission place. A cultivator in his 50s greeted Yimo. When he saw that Yimo was a Foundation establishment state cultivator, he immediately greeted him hospitably. Although he didn't know why Yimo was wearing outer sect member clothes when he was at Foundation establishment state, he didn't dare to ask, Martial Uncle, can I help you? The cultivator was at stage 9 Qi gathering. Yimo nodded. Is there Ming Yuan pill for trade here? A Ming Yuan pill? The cultivator was dazed, but he immediately reacted and said, Sorry, Martial Uncle, Ming Yuan pills are rare and they can't usually be redeemed here. You can only get it as a reward for a big mission or as a reward from the sect. Or you can go buy it at pill store. Yimo didn't think a mere Ming Yuan pill would be considered as rare pill. This meant that he needed to change his plan. Otherwise, he would be facing a Foundation Establishment State peak genius as a Foundation Establishment State level 3. Although he had quite a lot of means, even if he could kill Li Bailson, he wouldn't end up so well himself. Do you have any level 6 or higher runes? Yimo asked. The cultivator quickly nodded. Martial uncle, there is, but each one requires 5,000 points. 5,000 points? Yimo was speechless. The Rainbow Golden Flower mission had only given him 300, and that had been split between 5 people. Yimo quickly said, I don't have enough points, but can I trade with spirit stones or other things? The cultivator said with difficulty, Sorry, Martial uncle, we only take points. If you want to exchange other things, it's fine, but you must convert it to points first. 2 low-grade spirit stones can be exchanged for 1 point. Yimo cursed. He only had a little more than 10k low-grade spirit stones. Even with all that, he would only be able to buy 1 level 6 rune. A level 6 rune was only 6k spirit stones on the market. Martial brother Yi. When Yimo was hesitating, he heard a coarse voice. Yimo turned around and saw it was Lu Jinyue. It's you, Lu Jinyue. Hello. Yimo felt happy that she had gotten back to the sect fine. However, her voice had been crisp in the past, but 2 months later, it sounded very coarse and she was skinnier too. Chapter 848, Burst Essence Pill. Chapter 848, Burst Essence Pill. Lu Jinyue quickly pulled him to a corner and looked around before saying guiltily, Martial brother Yi. I caused a lot of trouble bringing you on that mission. Sorry. Yimo waved his hand. That's all in the past. No need to bring it up. Lu Jinyue felt more guilty. I'm not talking about Tong Jintan, but about Li Belan and Li Bailson. He found marks of Tong Jintan at the scene, so he asked me and Jiang Yi. He realized that it was you who chased Tong Jintan. So he started to doubt you, and then he got your sister and wife involved. So you should hurry up and leave. No wonder Li Bailson knows I killed his brother, Yimo thought. But Yimo knew that he couldn't blame Lu Jinyue and the others. They were just a few mere chi-gathering cultivators. They wouldn't dare hide anything to Li Bailson. Yimo smiled. It's fine. I can't blame you. After all, Li Bailson is a Foundation Establishment State cultivator. I'm about to leave, so I'll see you if fate brings us together again. Lu Jinyue heard this and was dazed. She was confused about why Yimo hadn't asked about his wife and sister. She was planning to tell him about it, but she didn't. If Yimo didn't want to care about them, asking would be like slapping him in the face. However, why was Yimo there at the mission hall looking for missions? He should have been captured by Lu Jinyue immediately. Martial brother Yi, take care. I found a burst spirit grass and I want to exchange it for points, so I'm leaving. No matter why Li Bailson hadn't found Yimo yet, Lu Jinyue didn't dare to talk to Yimo too much, and so she quickly left. The only reason she had pulled Yimo to the side was to clear her conscience. Yimo had saved her after all. She wouldn't be able to rest at ease without warning Yimo. Yimo was just about to nod, but he heard the words, burst spirit grass, and he quickly said, Martial sister Lu, did you just say you found the burst spirit grass? Yes. What's wrong, Martial brother Yi? Lu Jinyue asked in surprise. Yimo immediately said, Martial sister, it's very useful to me. Could you give it to me? How many spirit stones do you need? You want it? Lu Jinyue was dazed, but she took it out and gave it to Yimo. Since you need it, you can keep it. Never mind about the spirit stones. You saved my life and I owe you. This spirit herb isn't anything good, so you can just keep it. Yimo took this spirit herb in delight. The burst spirit herb was a level 3 spirit herb, and it was considered a high-level spirit herb for a chi-gathering cultivator. Its biggest use was to make the burst essence pill. The burst essence pill was a pill that had great side effects. It was a level 3 spirit herb. After eating the burst essence pill, your power would increase a few levels for 2 hours. However, afterwards, your cultivation essence would turn impure, and you would need to refine it. There would also be few hours of weakness, and it increases people's sexual impulses. It was just limited to Foundation Establishment State cultivators, but it was much harder to make than the Foundation Establishment pill. However, Yimo could make the Burst Essence pill. Yimo wasn't worried about the side effects at all. Even for the sexual impulses, he had Song Yangzhu by his side. "I'm off. Take care, Marshal Brother Yi," Lu Jinyue said and quickly tried to leave. Yimo stopped Lu Jinyue and said, "Wait, this is for you." Yimo took out a bottle and said, "This pill is very precious. Open it when no one is around you." "Okay, thanks for today. Goodbye." Then, Yimo left. He could understand how she felt. She was very kind to manage to pull him over and tell him this. Lu Jinyue looked at Yimo and sighed. She couldn't help Yimo. She knew why Yimo wanted the burst spirit grass, but she knew that it was a waste. Even if he could get someone to make the pill for him, he would be instantly killed by the false core stately Bailson. She hoped Yimo would manage to leave the sect early and not be stopped by Li Bailson. As for the pill, she really didn't care. What could a stage 8 chi gathering cultivator give her? So she didn't even open it and just threw it into her storage bag. Two Marshall sisters, we're also going to E-City, and the mission you took is also around there. How about we go together? A stage 8 chi gathering cultivator with sunken eyes stopped Yiling and Song Yangzhu. A white-faced cultivator stood by him. "Sorry, we have enough people," Yiling answered and started looking around. Without her brother, she felt insecure. P***. Yimo walked up to them and yelled. He felt it was such a wise decision to take them away with him. Song Yangzhu and Yiling walked joyfully to Yimo's side. That sunken-eyed cultivator heard this and was about to act up, but when he saw Yimo, he ate his words. He couldn't see Yimo's power at all. It could only mean that Yimo was stronger than him. The other white-faced cultivator was at stage 7 and couldn't tell Yimo's power as well. They could tell that Yimo was no ordinary person, so they left without saying anything. "Brother, I will cultivate faster. I found that in this place you're nothing if you're weak," Yiling said. Yimo nodded and said, "Of course, it's important to cultivate hard. Yet, if you focus on speed too much, you won't get anywhere either." "Okay, we're done. Let's go. By the way, how is the mission?" Song Yangzhu took out a mission card and said, "It's a mission in E-City, 3 to 4 people. We happen to have 3. When they got back to Yimo's place, they found that no one was watching it. Yimo took the 2 women inside and said, "I'm going to make a pill. After I make it, I will go to Yin Yuan Peak with you and take silver." Song Yangzhu hesitated and said, "How about I go with Yiling to take silver back first? That would save some time." Yimo shook his head. "Your master said you wouldn't be able to go out easily, so how could you guys have come out so easily? I think someone let you guys out, right?" Song Yangzhu was dazed and nodded. "Yes, after master left, Big Marshall sister took over Yin Yuan Peak. She's very nice to us. Also, we wanted to see you, so she let us out." "How did you know?" Yimo sneered. "If I had been as naive as you guys, I would have long been devoured. If I'm not wrong, that Big Marshall sister is with Li Bailson. If you guys had stayed at the peak, Li Bailson wouldn't have been able to get you. Yet you guys went outside." Song Yangzhu and Yiling hadn't thought that easy to talk to Big Marshall's sister could be this hideous. No wonder. Yiling thought of something and then shook her head in disappointment. Yimo smiled. "Don't think of it too much. I'm going to concoct pills. We'll take silver together later." Chapter 849. Illusion Cloud First Strike. Chapter 849. Illusion Cloud First Strike. It wasn't the first time Yimo made the Burst Essence pill, but it had been in his past life. He had new concocting means now, so he wasn't worried at all. The supplementary herbs for the Burst Essence pill weren't expensive, so Yimo started immediately and refined the herbs. An hour later, Yimo had made a cauldron of Burst Essence pill successfully. He only got 2 pills, yet it was enough for him. He only needed 1. "Let's go." Yimo felt more secure now. When the 3 of them arrived at the peak, they found that the Big Marshall sister wasn't there. This allowed them to take silver without any resistance. Silver was placed in the golden page world. Song Yangzhu and Yiling left behind a gratitude letter for Li Yuqian, and told her the reason why they left with Yimo. Yimo thought Li Bailson would stop them from leaving, but no one did. Yimo, that Li guy isn't stopping us, Song Yangzhu said. Yimo frowned. He felt like things weren't right. There was no way Li Bailson would send back the people watching them, and he didn't believe Li Bailson would let them go either. Perhaps these people realized that brother is at Foundation establishment state and no longer dare to stop us, Yiling said. Yimo shook his head. I've been back to the sect for too long. Even if Li Bailson were at the auction, he would know about it by now. He would have made arrangements. And even if he didn't, with his connections and future prospect in the sect, it would be far too easy for him to hold us back. But we're more than tens of thousands of kilometers away from the sect Hourdash. Yiling didn't finish because Yimo stopped. Yiling and Song Yangzhu were both on the flying sword, so they looked at Yimo wondering why he had suddenly stopped. Yimo landed on the ground and said to the two women, "Wait for me here. I want to see how capable that Li guy is." Ha ha ha! A hideous laughter sounded and a cold-faced man appeared before them. You've concealed yourself quite well. You can actually notice when I come. No wonder my brother died at your hands. Yimo looked calmly at this middle-aged man and realized why they had managed to leave so easily. That guy wasn't planning on dealing with them in the sect. Perhaps after finding out that he was at Foundation establishment state, he hoped that they would leave the sect. After all, not even a genius member had the right to punish a Foundation establishment state member who did no wrong. Even if he was sure Yimo killed his brother, the sect wouldn't support something with no evidence. You're very smart, not bad. It would have been very easy for me to take care of you in the sect, but I wanted to let you taste the beautiful feeling of a slow death. After I taste your sister and wife, I will let you taste her too. The hate on Li Bailson's face was obvious. Yimo smiled. Your brother Li Bailan had a pretty good sword ability. It's a pity that after I killed him, I wasn't able to find it. I was very disappointed. Hopefully, your storage bag won't disappoint me. Oh, interesting. Not storage bag. You have storage ring. Great. You killed my brother indeed. I'm going to eat you. He only suspected Yimo before, but now that he admitted it himself, Li Bailson could no longer hold the fury in his heart as killing intent poured out like a tidal wave. As soon as he said this, a sword light with intense killing intent spined above Yimo's head. At the same time, Yimo felt the air around him condensate and his body was immobile. Yet such a powerful strike got transformed halfway and turned into tens and hundreds of sword chi, each burning with killing intent. Yimo was shook. He hadn't thought that Li Bailson used a single-edged sword, and that he didn't control the sword with his spirit sense. Instead, he used it like martial artists in a close-up fight. Truth cultivators fought with magic artifacts, cultivation essence, and other means. Yet Li Bailson, the prodigy of the Zheng Yuan sword sect, used a single-edged sword instead of double-edged one and fought hand-to-hand. It was quite weird. Without thinking too much, Yimo started to burn his essence blood and immediately broke free from Li Bailson's bounds. His flying sword turned into hundreds of sword rays, which barely stopped Li Bailson's sword chi. Then, Yimo gathered all his cultivation essence and attacked Li Bailson's sword. Clash! Yimo was smashed tens of meters away and caught by Song Yangzhu and Yiling. He spat out blood immediately. It had just been the first clash, but he had to burn essence blood already. Li Bailson wasn't someone he could beat. Brother, are you okay? Yiling held Yimo in a worry and said shakily. They were tens of meters away, but they still had received some cuts by the sword chi, and this was with Yimo blocking 99% of the sword chi. I'm fine. Yimo took a lotus life pill and the burst essence pill. He looked at his flying sword. There was a big crevice, but when he put it down, he let out shadowless from his foot. He believed that Li Bailson wouldn't be scanning his foot at that moment. Luckily, Li Bailson didn't insist on the attack after that clash, which meant that he wasn't feeling so good either. Li Bailson had just retreated 3 meters and stopped. He stared coldly at Yimo. I underestimated you. You're only at Foundation Establishment State Level 3, yet you could block my Illusion Cloud first strike. No wonder you're so cocky. But my Illusion Cloud strike has 6 strikes. I want to see how many you can block. Yimo said to Song Yangzhu and Yiling, retreat 100 m and don't come back. Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu knew they couldn't intervene this time. They only had the sliver of hope that Yimo could fight freely. Song Yangzhu made up her mind that if Yimo died, she would kill herself immediately instead of getting raped. Yimo flicked his flying sword and said, "Li, you've hidden quite a lot too. In a double-edged sword sect, you cultivate a single-edged sword style. If I'm not wrong, the single-edged sword style is your killing move. Come at me, I'm not scared of you." Li Bailson had a smirk. "Those who know about this are already dead. You won't be an exception. I've just reached perfection a few days ago. I wanted to find someone to test it out. You really didn't disappoint me." Yimo could feel the burst essence pill. His state was going higher, level 4, level 5, level 6. When he reached level 6 peak, he stopped. Yimo was shook at how potent this pill was. When the effect was over, would he drop to level 2? Li Bailson clearly felt this too and was dazed, but he quickly reacted. He sneered. "You actually used a burst essence pill, but that's right, you won't have a future." Yimo used countless sword flowers to bring his flying sword and surrounded Li Bailson. The sword flowers kept splitting. Li Bailson sneered. "Using sword flowers that are only for show? How dare you?" Illusion Cloud's second strike. As Li Bailson called, he slashed. Chapter 850. You're harsh? Chapter 850. You're harsh. As soon as Li Bailson attacked with his sword, Yimo's expression changed. He hadn't thought the difference between the first and second strike could be this huge. The second strike formed countless whirlpools, which were emitted by Li Bailson's sword will, around them. But when the spinning whirlpool swords had just taken form, Yimo's sword flowers transformed into hundreds of gleaming sword rays. The sword rays and the second strike clashed together, making ear-shrieking sounds. Li Bailson's face changed. He realized that after taking the burst essence pill, Yimo's cultivation essence was clearly on par with him. The sword flowers could stop his eddy sword chi. He didn't dare believe this at all. Even though Yimo was now at Foundation Establishment State Level 6, he was also at False Core State. Moreover, although he was at False Core State, his cultivation essence was much higher than a usual False Core State cultivator's. This meant that Yimo was invincible in Foundation Establishment State simply as a Foundation Establishment State middle stage. This person must be killed today, or there would be endless disaster. Li Bailson made up his mind and stopped caring about getting injured. The sword was gradually forming the third strike, and he took out a few runes too. They were all level 5 or even 6 runes. He knew that Yimo wouldn't be able to last long with the burst essence pill, but he didn't dare to make that risk. If Yimo got away, even if he got Yimo's wife and sister, he wouldn't be able to rest assured. However, he was assuming everyone was like him, because he would run away on his own if he was in his shoes. He didn't know Yimo's character, but Yimo would never leave behind his wife and sister. The 3-birth sword ray barely blocked Li Bailson's eddy sword chi and annihilated it. However, his sword ray also disappeared completely. It couldn't keep growing unless he used his spirit sense and created new ones. He realized that no matter how quickly his 3-birth sword ray worked, it wouldn't be as fast as Li Bailson's sword chi when Li Bailson was going to use the third strike. Yimo forcibly used Winter's arrival from his sea of consciousness. An overwhelming frost spread out to Li Bailson. Even from 300 meters away, Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling could feel that bone-chilling frigidness, and they couldn't help but to hug each other for warmth. Meanwhile, Li Bailson, who wanted to use his rune, was slowed down by the frost. He could tell was Yimo's killing move, so without thinking, he activated his cultivation essence and the frost started to melt. So strong. It was Yimo's first time attacking with Winter's arrival. Yet in less than 3 seconds, Li Bailson broke free. Even though his Winter's arrival was incomplete and he was too weak, one could still see Li Bailson's power from his reaction. However, Yimo only needed those few seconds. His flying sword had gathered all his cultivation essence and shot at Li Bailson, who hadn't used the third strike yet. "You're asking to die," Li Bailson roared. His sword clashed against Yimo's flying sword again. Yimo was thrown in the air, but he just spun in midair. Then, the flying sword left his hand and attacked Li Bailson again. When it was a few meters from Li Bailson, Countless sword rays left the flying sword, and Yemo spat some blood. It was the first time he used spirit sense and cultivation essence to activate the 3-birth sword ray. Li Baelson's expression became serious. He had only seen the sword rays twice. However, he felt that despite Yemo not having used the sword ray to its full power yet, he wasn't scared as he had the 3rd strike. That was sword manipulation. The 2 strikes before were for mortals, but the 3rd strike was an immortal sword technique. That person was too dangerous. Li Baelson was just about to use the 3rd strike when he shook. He felt as though something had gotten inside his body. Not good. He immediately realized that he had been ambushed by Yemo. Without thinking, he activated a shield and tried to leave. He had to force the thing out of his body first, even if he couldn't kill Yemo first. Yemo's sword rays slashed the shield. Instantly, there were hundreds of marks on it. Yemo could tell that Shadowless had succeeded, so he used cultivation essence and shot the shield. Li Baelson was using most of his cultivation essence to force out Shadowless. Hence, his shield couldn't block much and was sliced open by Yemo's sword. Multiple sword rays passed through, piercing Li Baelson's body. "I'm going to kill you, you shameless person." Li Baelson was heavily injured and tried to use his runes. But as soon as he turned around, he stopped halfway in a daze. His face was full of terror. He couldn't even activate his runes. A few moments later, Li Baelson suddenly knelt down and looked dazedly at Yemo. Despair and dissatisfaction flashed across his eyes. He opened his mouth, as though wanting to say something, but he couldn't say anything. Yemo wiped the blood from his mouth and carefully approached him. He was afraid that Li Baelson was pretending to be dead, but when Li Baelson's body quickly got dry, his head began to tingle. Soon, a pea-sized bug flew to Yemo's palm. This bug was a little darker now, but the golden patch had gotten more than twice as large. Yemo looked at the bug in his hand and couldn't say a word. He knew how powerful Li Baelson was. He might have not been his match, even after taking the burst essence pill. Yet, such a cultivator had been crushed by a tiny bug. Shadowless saw Yemo look at him and growled, as though he's showing off. "You're harsh." Yemo spat these words and threw Shadowless into the golden page world. What kind of ancient breed was this? It was this terrifying, and it was only on its infant stage. What could this guy do when it grew up? Of course, it had to do with Yemo distracting Li Baelson as well. "Brother, did you really kill Li Baelson?" Yiling called out in joy. He. Song Yangzhu looked at the bony Li Baelson and got scared. Yemo didn't know how to explain, so he just took the storage ring and the sword before burning Li Baelson and said, "Let's go. We shouldn't stay here." As soon as they left, another woman who had her face covered was staring at where Li Baelson had died in a daze. After flying 10,000 kilometers away, Yemo suddenly said, "The effects of the pill have passed. Let's rest for a while. I'm going to see if Thisly has a flying artifact." The 3 of them found a quiet place to land. Yemo opened Li Baelson's storage ring and found there were nearly 3,000 top-grade spirit stones, some pills, herbs, and materials. There were a few jade slips and 2 jade cards. One was the sex, another had the word Li, a flying wind pike. Yemo took out a pike-shaped magic artifact from Li Baelson's storage ring. "Brother, is this a flying magic artifact?" Yiling glanced at the rocket-looking thing and asked. Yemo nodded. "Yes, it's a low-grade spirit flying artifact. It's not even Li Baelson's. I understand that Li went to the auction for this. That's why he didn't have many spirit stones." Chapter 851. Can't Resist? Chapter 851. Can't Resist. I'll start spirit controlling the flying cloud pike. Yangzhu and Yiling, burn all of the clothes on you right now and wash your hair too, Yemo said. Song Yangzhu was dazed, but she didn't ask anything. However, Yiling's face turned red. "Brother, what did you say?" "It was just a small cave." Song Yangzhu was Yemo's wife, so it was fine for her to take off her clothes. But how could she? Yemo also realized that his words sounded wrong, so he immediately said, "Since Li Baelson managed to follow us here, he must have planted a spirit sense mark on you. However, I checked before and didn't find anything. No matter what kind of spirit sense mark he made, It should just be on your clothes. Hence, it should be gone after you take a shower and change your clothes. Song Yangju said, Husband, I can change clothes here, but Yiling doesn't have a place to. Yimo knew what she meant. It was her first time calling him her husband. He immediately said, We can't think much about that right now. Change quickly. After you're done, get on the flying cloud pike with Yiling and run. I need to recover. I'll turn my back to you guys, hurry. Then, Yimo started to focus on spirit, controlling the flying cloud pike. No matter the reason, the Zheng Yuan sword sect wasn't going to let things go easily when their genius member had been killed. All he could do now was get as far away as possible. Song Yangju and Yiling also realized the emergency of the situation and didn't dare to hesitate. They quickly changed their clothes. They washed their bodies and hair with a clear water spell and changed into a clean set of clothes. At this time, Yimo had already spirit-controlled the flying cloud pike. By the time the two women had burned their clothes, Yimo could barely stand. The burst essence pill was very strong, but the side effects were huge indeed. Yimo gave the flying cloud pike for Yiling to control. He could only let Song Yangju carry him. Song Yangju carried Yimo onto the pike while Yiling controlled. She made it bigger as they dashed into the sky. Yimo said, Keep flying south. Don't be afraid of wasting spirit stones. It runs on top-grade spirit stones, and I have 3,000 here. Just use it. Other than the control room, the pike had a small room of about 8 SQM. However, it was pretty good for even ordinary golden core state cultivators. The reason Yimo allowed Yiling to control the pike and fly south was because it was so fast that an ordinary Foundation establishment state cultivator wouldn't be able to catch up. An ordinary golden core state cultivator wouldn't try to rob them for a low-grade spirit artifact. 6 hours later, Yimo called Song Yangju into the room and left Yiling outside to control the flying pike. Just when she was about to go find out why her brother had called Song Yangju in, she heard Song Yangju's muffled moan. Yiling wasn't married, but she immediately realized what was going on. She didn't understand why her brother was in such a hurry, but she knew her brother wasn't lustful. Yiling could only pretend she didn't hear anything, but after a while she actually didn't hear anything. She realized that her brother must have set up a sound barrier formation. Yimo was doing this to remove the side effects of the burst spirit pill, of course. Moreover, the last time they had something intimate was half a year ago. Song Yangju was cold on the outside, but very fiery on the inside. Yimo hadn't even told her he needed her for the burst essence pill, but she was already grabbing Yimo excitedly. She had long wanted to do it, but she hadn't had the chance in the past half a year until then. They took off their clothes one by one. Song Yangju didn't even need foreplay, she was already uncontrollable. In just a moment, Song Yangju couldn't resist the joyful sensation and moaned. Yimo remembered that Yiling was outside and blushed. He quickly set up a sound barrier formation. A few hours later, Yiling saw Song Yangju, who had messy hair and a bright red face, walk outside. There was a sense of satisfaction on her face. Yiling was speechless. Were all women with husbands this audacious? Song Yangju saw Yiling's glance and blushed even more. She explained awkwardly, Your brother had some side effects after taking the burst essence pill. We Yiling burst out in laughter. Sister-in-law, it's your turn to man the wheel. I'm going inside to rest and prepare some food. Even if my brother hadn't taken the burst essence pill, would you have been able to hold back? Song Yangju heard this and instead, she no longer felt shy about it. She laughed and said, I wouldn't have. Yiling hadn't expected this reply and was immediately defeated. I will never discuss such things with a married woman again. I surrender. Zhang Yuan's sword sect. Lu Jinyue had just gone back to her place. She was scared that Yimo would come to find her again. She wanted to get a mission, but thinking that she was about to reach stage 9, she no longer was in the mood. Just when she was hesitating, Huang Ping suddenly went to visit her. Huang Ping saw Lu Jinyue's worry and quickly said, Sister Zhang Yue, does Yimo know you're back? Lu Jinyue nodded. Huang Ping immediately said, Sister Zhang Yue, do you know what level Yimo is at right now? Isn't he at stage 8 Qi gathering? Is he at stage 9 now? Lu Jinyue said. Huang Ping said quietly, Yimo is at Foundation Establishment State Cultivator now. A newly ascended foundation establishment state Qinbei sealed off Yimo's place, and his dantian was destroyed. What? It has only been a few months. Yimo reached foundation establishment state, level 1 from stage 8 Qi gathering. Lu Jinyue was shook. This was too fast. Huang Ping said again, I heard Yimo left the sect a few hours ago. He took his sister and wife. What? Lu Jinyue was shook. How could Li Bison let them go? Huang Ping said, the strange thing is that he didn't send anyone to stop Yimo. Instead, he let him leave. He didn't even send anyone to follow them. Lu Jinyue calmed down and said, if I'm not wrong, Li Bison went after them personally. Sidash, Zhang Yi and I are planning to get another mission. Do you want to go? Huang Ping asked. Lu Jinyue shook her head. She was too tired. She needed to rest. She believed that as long as she didn't make a mistake, Li Bison wouldn't look for trouble with someone like her. Seeing Huang Ping leave, Lu Jinyue suddenly thought of the pill Yimo had given her. Yimo had said it was a very precious pill. He was at Foundation Establishment state. It shouldn't be an ordinary pill. Foundation Establishment pill? Lu Jinyue saw the pill and exclaimed. Her hands shook, almost dropping the pill. It was an immeasurable treasure for Qi gathering cultivators. Chapter 852. China Pharmaceuticals. Chapter 852. China Pharmaceuticals River State City was a rather big cultivation city in the North Far State. It was one of those few cities that weren't managed by the big sections. It was managed by a few power factions. The city lord was from the Zhang family, who was said to have a hollow spirit state peak cultivator. He was one step away from body condensation state. Even a 5-star sect wouldn't easily mess with such a cultivator. At this moment, Yimo took Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling into River City State. It was half a month after they had left the Zhang Yuan sword sect. Brother, will we be living here from now on? Yi Ling looked at the grand city walls and asked. Yimo nodded. Yes, we need to find a place to settle. If we keep running around like this, our powers will never increase. Moreover, there have been quite a lot of people wanting to stop us on the way, but we're just faster. Then, are we renting or buying a cultivation home? What business will we do to get resources? Yiling knew that they needed resources to settle down and cultivate. Without it, they might as well live in a far-off place. Yimo already had a plan. Don't worry about cultivation resources. This city has a spirit meridian below the city and a spirit gathering formation. The spirit chi here is much better than at the Zhangyuan sword sect. Yimo thought and said, we have limited spirit stones, so we won't be able to afford a cultivation home for sure. So let's rent a place first. You guys can just cultivate. I will go earn some spirit stones. Then we can buy our own shop and start up a business in this city. Brother. Yiling looked worriedly at Yimo. She knew her brother was very capable, but this was Luoyu continent, and it was completely different to Earth. On Earth, he was the only cultivator, so he stood on top of everyone and no one could touch him. But there, everyone was a cultivator, and there were too many people stronger than her brother. Yiling felt that it was hard to build their own power. Song Yangzhu smiled. Yiling, don't worry about your brother. He can do it for sure. When lived in Ninghai, he was also very poor. He started at an even lower position than now. Even an ordinary ancient martial artist could beat him, but he still built Luoyu City. How do you know about that? Yiling thought that Song Yangzhu had met her brother later on. Song Yangzhu didn't say anything. After she lost her virginity to Yimo, she researched everything about him. Yiling didn't pursue it. Brother, what do you intend to use to earn spirit stones? Yimo immediately answered. I'm planning to start a pill business. Although I'm starting from scratch, I believe I can do it. Yiling suddenly said, Brother, why don't I call it China Pharmaceuticals? This way, those who know about China will come to us. If Sister Luoying and Qingxue hear about this, they will come too. Yimo smiled. I was thinking that too. Yiling was dazed and said, Brother, you made a Luoyu Pharmaceuticals on Earth. Did you come from Luoyu to Earth? Yiling then patted her head. I'm thinking too much. Yimo was shook. Yiling was right. He actually had done that. They applied for citizenship at the city management office and rented a small shop. It cost 20,000 low-grade spirit stones, and they only paid for half a year's rent. The shop was small, but it had 2 rooms and a kitchen. The only inconvenience was that it was a bit far away. Regardless, after settling down, Emo was left with no spirit stones at all anymore. He had a lot of valuable items, but he didn't dare sell them. Compared to the busy city, the tiny China Pharmaceuticals opening was insignificant. There were only 3 people in China Pharmaceuticals, the boss and 2 waiters. Although Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling were both pretty, in the cultivation realm they weren't really outstanding. 3 days later, Yi Ling couldn't sit tight anymore and said worriedly, "Brother, we've opened our shop for 3 days and we haven't sold 1 pill. Most people don't know what China Pharmaceuticals is. Should we change our shop's name to China Pill Tower? If things continue like this for 3 months, we won't have enough to survive." Song Yangzhu laughed. "We're just a small shop. We can't call ourselves Pill Tower." Yemo also realized that if they continued like this, they really might not get any clients. He might as well go out and set up a stall again then. On the 4th day after China Pharmaceuticals opening, huge news stormed the entire city. China Pharmaceuticals was selling Qi increasing pills, essence increasing pills, great essence increasing pills, rejuvenation pills, essence rejuvenation pills, essence benefit pills, and many other types of pills. The first few types didn't matter, but the essence rejuvenation pills and the essence benefit pills were pills that foundation establishment state cultivators used. Essence rejuvenation pills were for essence recovery and healing. Meanwhile, essence benefit pills were for cultivation before foundation establishment state level 6. It was more precious. Both pills were spirit grade level 3 pills. Even ordinary pill towers might not have it. But this wasn't the most shocking news. The most shocking news were that the shop had 1 face-preserving pill and 1 foundation establishment pill. Both pills weren't hard to make, but the face-preserving pill was priceless. But to most, the foundation establishment pill was more important. Cultivation was much more important than looks. Even the big pill towers had limited amounts of foundation establishment pills. Even if they did, they would sell them in auctions. How could they sell them together with ordinary pills? Everyone rushed to China Pharmaceuticals to see how they were selling the 2 pills. The reason Yemo had taken out these 2 pills was also for a matter of gambling. No matter where, those with little courage starved to death, and those with big courage had plenty. He had to start off with a high profile to get China Pharmaceuticals' name out. As long as he got his name out, more and more people would come to him for pills. He would get to know more people and get more connections. The city was rather safe, and as long as he stayed in it, even if some people desired his fortune, they couldn't do anything. When he got more wealth, he would be able to turn it into power. In less than 2 hours, China Pharmaceuticals' door was filled with all sorts of cultivators. China Pharmaceuticals sells pills. Such a strange name. Yes, I saw this place open up a few days ago. I didn't think it was a pill shop. A foundation establishment pill? Is that real or fake? Unless they don't want to run a business anymore, it can't be fake. Wait, let me see how this foundation establishment pill is sold. Chapter 853. Recruitment. Chapter 853. Recruitment. China Pharmaceuticals' prices were the same as other pill towers. Although Yemo wanted to sell them cheaper, he didn't have the power to do so. Without enough power, lowering the price wasn't a small deal. Offending the big pill businesses was no laughing matter. China Pharmaceuticals didn't have a big facade, but its advertisement was really good. It clearly wrote that the foundation establishment pill would be sold to the 300th customer for 100,000 spirit stones. If the 300th customer didn't want it, it would be sold to the next one. The face-preserving pill would not be sold. Selling the foundation establishment pill for 100,000 spirit stones wasn't very expensive. It was rather cheap, but Yemo didn't want to earn money from it. He wanted to use it to bring fame to China Pharmaceuticals. So he would even sell it for 1,000 spirit stones. Almost everyone who had the money was rubbing their palms. Many Qi-gathering peak cultivators hadn't been able to reach foundation establishment state for a long time. They had all saved up spirit stones to buy the foundation establishment pill. It's opening. With a call, the doors of China Pharmaceuticals opened. All the cultivators waiting at the door went inside, as though if they arrived a little later, they wouldn't get the foundation establishment pill. Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu were dazed at the bustling cultivators at the door. They finally realized what madness was. It was just a foundation establishment pill, but it caused such a ruckus. The store's front, that used to be empty, was now filled with a sea of people. This, Song Yangzhu sighed. No matter where Yimo was, he would always cause a big commotion. Yimo stood at the door and his foundation establishment state-level temperament exploded. He has plenty of cultivation essence, and his spirit sense was strong. The power he exerted was the same as a foundation establishment state tertiary stage cultivators. People felt his power and calmed down. If they offended a foundation establishment state tertiary stage cultivator, he could annihilate them at any time. Even if he couldn't kill someone in the city, one couldn't stay in the city forever. Furthermore, he could open a pill shop, which meant that there was a pill master behind him. A pill master's power was not simple. Even a golden core state wouldn't want to offend the lowest grade spirit grade pill master. Everyone. Yimo waited for the people to be a little more quiet before saluting his fist. Today's the opening of our China Pharmaceuticals. My master left me 2 foundation establishment pills. I've used one for foundation establishment state, and now there's one left. This one will be sold to the fortunate person. No matter who you are, if you're the 300th to come and buy something from my shop, you have the right to buy the pill. Of course, you can give up your right too. Qianbei, will your master be able to get more foundation establishment pills? Someone from the crowd asked. Yimo laughed. Good question. Although we don't have a solid foundation, my master has powerful origins. I'm not even sure if my master can get more foundation establishment pills, but I can assure everyone that my master will come to this city in a year. If there's more, we will sell them for sure. Yimo thought that in a year later he would at least be at foundation establishment state middle stage, and maybe even tertiary stage. If he were at foundation establishment state tertiary stage, he would be able to deal with an ordinary golden core state. In order to not decrease the popularity of China Pharmaceuticals, of course he wouldn't tell them there would be no more. Okay, now let the sales begin. Please stay in order. Those who cut in line will have to leave. Yimo waved his hand. There was just one foundation establishment pill, but many people wanted to see how the other pills were. After all, the benefit essence pill was also very precious for a foundation establishment state cultivator. People stayed in an orderly fashion. Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu were both very busy. Some people bought a bottle, some bought a few. The supplies Yimo had were soon depleted. As more and more bottles were sold, joyful discussions sounded. They found out that China Pharmaceuticals pills were much better than the pills of other pill towers. They had less impurities and stronger effects, but their prices were the same as other pill towers. With this joyful discovery, Yimo's pills got sold even faster. Soon, the 300th customer arrived, and he was a stage 7 qi gathering cultivator. He had come to buy the great essence increasing pill, but he hadn't expected that he would be this lucky. When Yimo saw that the cultivator was in a daze for a long time, he realized that the cultivator didn't have the ability nor the intention to buy the foundation establishment pill. The cultivator behind the stage 7 also saw this. He was a male cultivator in his 60s. He looked old, and he'd gone in the line to see if he would be lucky enough to be the 300th customer. The old cultivator pulled the young cultivator aside and said shakily, "This is a bottle of great essence increasing pill. Move aside." That young cultivator agreed and moved aside. It was a win-win situation. Yimo saw the old cultivator buy the foundation establishment pill and said, "Everyone, the lucky one to buy the foundation establishment pill has appeared. He is this man. Let's wish him success in foundation establishment." Many people got disappointed and half of the long queue disappeared, but Yimo wasn't worried. He had reached his goal. It's Sunjitsai. Isn't he a pill master himself? Why did he buy pills here? Someone saw the old cultivator and said, "Pfft, he's just a mortal-level pill master." Hearing this, Yimo had an idea. He had seen Sunjitsai excitedly hold the foundation establishment pill and almost start crying. Yimo walked up to him immediately. "Friend, hello. I'm Yimo, the owner of China Pharmaceuticals. Congratulations on getting the foundation establishment pill. I wish you a successful foundation establishment," Yimo said. Sun Jitsai put the foundation establishment pill away and bowed. Yichimbe, thank you. Thank you for letting me buy this pill. Yimo smiled. It's completely your luck that you were able to buy it. I heard you're a pill master, right? Sun Jitsai quickly nodded. Yes, I come from a pill-making family. However, my family passed away, and I've become a solo cultivator now. I can only make some mortal-level pills. Yimo waved his hand. That's fine. I'm saying this because we're in shortage of people right now. If you're still willing to make pills after you reach foundation establishment state, you can come to China Pharmaceuticals. Of course, although we have just opened, we won't mistreat you. You will have the pills you need for foundation establishment state. Sun Jitsai was dazed and said excitedly, Qianbei, I can only make some mortal-level pills though. Yimo smiled. If you become a pill master at China Pharmaceuticals, of course, I won't just let you make mortal-level pills. Moreover, I'm a spirit-level pill master. I can teach you a few things. Huh. Sun Jitsai was dazed. Such good fortune had fallen upon him. Being taught by a spirit-level pill master was no easier than reaching foundation establishment. Yet, he had gotten both. Master, I'm willing. Sun Jitsai knelt down on the ground. Yimo was speechless. He pulled Sun Jitsai up. You're not my disciple. I'm just giving you a few pointers. Chapter 854. All Sorts of Powers. Chapter 854. All sorts of powers, bossy. Nice business you have, a plain voice sounded. It was plain, but Yimo still felt his ears vibrate. That man's power was no weaker than Li Bison's. He was probably a false core state cultivator. Yimo turned around and saw that the man looked like he was in his 40s. He seemed astute, and it looked like he had killing chi on him. He had just started his business, yet someone had already come. Yimo knew that he wasn't familiar with this place. In order to stay there, he needed to keep increasing his power and get to know the power distribution of the city. Yimo said to Sun Jitsai, Brother Sun, go reach foundation establishment first. After you're done, come work here. Sun Jitsai bowed and left. However, when he walked up to that middle-aged cultivator, he bowed again. Greetings, All Pill Tower, Manager Peng. The manager sneered. Yimo nodded. He was having a better impression of Sun Jitsai already. Sun Jitsai knew what he had done would displease the manager, but he still told him who the man was. If he knew who this man was, it would be much better for negotiating than to talk with a mysterious person. Yimo knew that the All Pill Tower was one of the 3 big pill towers in the River State City. It ranked second, and it was a franchise. There were many other outlets in the cities of the North Far State. It was rather strong. After Sun Jitsai left, Yimo saluted the manager with his fist slowly and said, Friend, what purpose do you have here? The manager was already unhappy that Yimo hadn't greeted him first, and now, Yimo didn't even invite him inside. Manager Peng was annoyed, but his face was very calm. I'm the manager of the All Pill Tower, Peng Shiping. I have some important things to discuss with Boss Yi. What? Are you not going to invite me in? Yimo sneered. This guy clearly didn't have good intentions, yet he acted superior in front of him. So, it's Manager Peng of the All Pill Tower. Our shop just opened, and it's rather small. If Manager Peng has anything to say, just say it here. Yimo didn't give a sh*t about this Manager Peng. He was planning to build a business there, but he wouldn't suck up to someone like this. Even if the boss of the All Pill Tower went there personally and acted like this, Yimo wouldn't care either. Brother, we've sold out all of our pills today. Yiling quietly came up and said to Yimo. Yimo nodded and walked to the front door. He called, Friends, thank you for your support today. We've sold out all of our pills today. Please come again tomorrow. I'll also announce other news. Starting from today, this store will concoct pills for others. This created quite the ripple. Concocting pills for people was no simple promise. It was what big pill towers did. That little shop, China Pharmaceuticals, dared to concoct pills for others? Peng Shiping was about to rage when Yimo left him behind to make the announcement. However, after he heard it, he calmed down instead. I didn't think Boss Yi was a pill master. Respect, respect. Since you're helping people concoct pills, why don't you specify what grade pills you can make? What if someone asks you for a spirit grade or heaven grade pill? Can boss you make it too? Peng Shiping's tone had gotten very soft now. Yimo sneered. Did he think he could understand his plans? But he laughed. I forgot to mention it just now. Yet, if someone in River State City wants pills made, it would have to be at most a spirit grade level 1. Boss, he can make spirit grade pills? Peng Shiping was shook now. He hadn't thought this not very powerful boss was actually a spirit grade pill master. Yimo didn't answer as he had heard 2 more people come to the door. One was a middle-aged man in his 50s who looked very handsome. The other man had a goatee, but he looked like he was in his 30s. What shook Yimo was that the handsome man was actually a Golden Core State tertiary stage cultivator, and that Golden Core State man clearly didn't know that Yimo could see his power. He walked inside and saluted with his fist. Boss, he is so young, but he is already a spirit grade pill master. I really didn't expect this. I'm the city lord of River State City, Zhang Changfeng. I came to visit you. I hope pill master won't mind. Yimo was shook. He hadn't expected that the city lord would go to visit him personally. This city was co-owned by many power factions, and the city lord was clearly one of the bigger power factions. Yet such a person had gone to visit Yimo personally and acted quite respectfully. Even though Yimo knew he had come for the face-preserving pill, Yimo approved of this man's charisma. The city lord had come, so it was perfect for him to enact his plans. The city lord then pointed at the goatee man. This is Immortal Treasure Tower's manager Yin Zheng. We met on the way here, so we came over together. Yin Zheng quickly saluted with his fist. Yin Zheng greet pill master Yi. His tone was countless times better than Peng Shiping's. Clearly, in their hearts, Yimo's pill master was much better than his boss, who was at Foundation Establishment State status. Although he didn't really like men with goatees due to Dongfang Shi, Yin Zheng was really polite. Yimo knew about the Immortal Treasure Tower too. It was the biggest pill tower in the city, but it also sold magic artifacts and spirit artifacts too. Yimo quickly saluted with his fists too and said, I didn't think City Lord Zhang and Manager Yin would personally come to my humble place. Please come in and have a seat. Yiling, make some tea. Peng Shiping's face was green. When he had walked inside, Yimo ignored him. Yet now he was so polite to Zhang Changfeng and Yin Zheng. However, he still saluted Zhang Changfeng. Peng Shiping greet City Lord Zhang and Brother Yin. Zhang Changfeng smiled and just nodded, while Yin Zheng laughed. I didn't think Manager Peng would be this fast. Hee hee. When Yimo sat down with these people, Yiling and Song Yangzhu sat by Yimo's side. They were a little anxious due to these people's power. Yimo knew they had all come for the face-preserving pill, so he said, I believe City Lord Zhang and the 2 managers have come for the face-preserving pill my master left behind. Yes, Pill Master Yi is straightforward. My wife isn't in town now, but she heard of the appearance of the face-preserving pill and asked me to buy it immediately. Please sell the pill to me, Brother Yi. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for me to deal with her, Zhang Chengfeng said. Yimo really liked the way this city lord talked, but it seemed his wife had control over him. Peng Shiping quickly said, Bossy, our all-pill tower heard your shop has a face-preserving pill, so our boss told us to buy this pill no matter what. As for the price, Bossy, you name it. Even a few millions or tens of millions is fine. However, Yin Zheng sneered. Nice plans, Manager Peng. You guys are about to hold an auction. A few million spirit stones? You buy it here for a few million spirit stones, and then you would sell it for a few million middle-grade spirit stones. Yimo Hand thought the face-preserving pill would be worth this much money. A middle-grade spirit stone was worth 10 low-grade spirit stones. But he still got up and saluted with this fist. Thanks for your support, but the face-preserving pill is a treasure to the shop. I wasn't planning on selling it. Chapter 855. Gift Pill. Chapter 855. Gift Pill. As soon as Yimo said this, everyone was dazed. Everyone who had gone to visit Yimo today had an important background. Each one of them wasn't someone that the China Pharmaceuticals could reject. They could easily annihilate China Pharmaceuticals. They hadn't gone there for the shop nor Yimo, a mere spirit grade level 1 pill master. It was for the face-preserving pill. Although Yimo had taken out the face-preserving pill for that day and never intended not to sell it, he wasn't happy with how they were passively coercing him. This was all because he didn't have power. If he had power, then even if he had the immortal face pill, no one would dare say anything. Yimo saw their faces looked bad and quickly said, "You guys misunderstand me. I don't plan to sell it, but after seeing how much City Lord Zhang loves his wife, I am deeply touched. Today, I would like to gift City Lord Zhang this pill to fulfill his wishes." Yimo knew the importance of picking a side. If he hesitated now, he would offend all three of them. He had already offended Peng Shiping, hence Zhang Chengfeng had the biggest power in the city. Although he didn't know if Zhang Chengfeng's character was really that good too, he seemed okay. That Yin Zhang also seemed to be close to Zhang Chengfeng on the surface. The reason Yimo didn't worry about Zhang Chengfeng just taking it and not helping him was due to the fact that Zhang Chengfeng seemed straightforward and didn't look down on him. However, he felt like it could be due to him coming here out of respect for his wife, and not for him nor the shop. If it was the latter, Yimo was sure that Zhang Chengfeng would take the pill and not help him because he believed that China Pharmaceuticals was not worth his help. However, he had only known Zhang Chengfeng for a short time, so he couldn't tell. He could only try his luck. He didn't really care about one face-preserving pill. If it had been something else, then even if it meant that Yimo would have had to leave the city, he wouldn't have done it. The three men were dazed. They hadn't thought Yimo was that generous. This pill was worth tens of millions of spirit stones. Yimo clearly didn't have enough on his hand, or he wouldn't have rented the shop at that far-off corner. Yimo had decided to give the pill away in this situation, which meant that he was no short-sighted person. Zhang Chengfeng was dazed and reacted first. He quickly waved his hand. "Bossy, how can I let you do that? This pill is so precious, I can't take it for free. It's already a huge favor that Bossy is willing to sell it to me." However, his face didn't show that at all. Yimo's heart sunk. He realized that he had seen wrongly this time. Zhang Chengfeng was very handsome and straightforward, but he was the type that didn't care about others' survival in order to reach his goal. Although Yimo had realized this, he still acted. "City Lord Zhang, I respect those who value relationships. Since you're willing to come here personally for your wife, I would like to know someone like you. If you look down on me, then pay me spirit stones." "Ha ha ha." Zhang Chengfeng laughed and got up. "Brother Yi, I admire your straightforward character. Okay, I'll accept your goodwill. Don't call me City Lord Zhang from now on. I won't call you Bossy either. We'll call each other brothers." Yimo laughed. "In that case, Brother Zhang, I won't be so polite with you." However, Yimo was sure that if the All-Pill Tower really attacked China Pharmaceuticals, Zhang Chengfeng would never help Yimo. But thinking that the pill was still a symbol of goodwill, it should make the All-Pill Tower have some concern. That would be fine. He needed time the most right now. "Congratulations, City Lord Zhang, on getting what you desired." Yin Zhang congratulated him first. Peng Shiping was helpless and congratulated him too, but Yimo saw clearly the bleak look he hid under his eyes. "Yangzhu, bring the pill," Yimo said. Song Yangzhu got up to get the pill. They were shook. They had both taken it, but they hadn't thought it was this valuable. "Manager Peng, did you get the pill?" A voice sounded and a young man wobbled into Yimo's shop full of arrogance. Peng Shiping's expression looked bad. He said politely to the young man, "Young master, it belongs to City Lord Zhang now." "What?" The young man frowned and looked at Zhang Chengfeng and Yin Zhang. He wasn't satisfied, but he could only salute Zhang Chengfeng. So Uncle Zhang came personally. "Congratulations." He only nodded at Yin Zhang. "Are you the boss of China Pharmaceuticals? A Foundation Establishment State Level 3 cultivator? Not bad. Yet you dare to open a shop here with your measly power. You're quite bold." The young master was clearly unhappy that he hadn't gotten the pill. Zhang Chengfeng frowned, but he didn't speak. Peng Shiping coughed, wanting to remind the young master not to look for trouble with Yimo. However, the young master didn't know Yimo had just given the pill to Zhang Chengfeng. As soon as the young master said this, he saw Song Yangzhu, who was bringing the pill over, and his eyes brightened up. She looked even prettier after being nourished by Yimo, and her body was exceptional. Her slightly troubled look, because of thinking about her daughter, made her all the more enticing. I didn't think I would get a pretty lady instead of getting the face-preserving pill today. Great. The young master walked up to Song Yangzhu. Yimo sneered. He wanted the young master to do something now. He hadn't given him the pill yet, and he believed that no matter how much Zhang Chengfeng didn't want trouble with the all-pill tower, he would have to stand up for him. But just when Zhang Chengfeng was about to say something, Yimo walked up, kicked the young master, and punched his kneecaps. The young master didn't care about Yimo, as he was at Foundation Establishment State Level 5, and Peng Shiping was at False Core State. However, Yimo's both punches landed on the young master. Even though the young master was about to react when Yimo attacked, Yimo's cultivation essence was a lot stronger than his and took him by surprise. A thud followed after two cracking sounds. The young master was kicked out of the shop and landed on the streets. Chapter 856. What grade pillmaster are you? Chapter 856. What grade pillmaster are you? Zhang Chengfeng smiled, as though nothing had happened. The moment Yimo moved, he knew his purpose. Although he could stop it, he didn't. He didn't want trouble with the all-pill tower now, but he didn't need to go help them either. It was fine for him to give this little help for a free face-preserving pill, but that was about it. Yimo knew that Zhang Chengfeng had had the opportunity to stop it. If he had, he would have known that there was no point in trying to connect with him. He would have immediately found an excuse to borrow spirit stones. Once he got the spirit stones, he would have left River State City immediately. How dare you attack the young master of the all-pill tower? City Lord Zhang, this Yimo dares to attack people in this city. Peng Shiping hadn't had the ability to help at the spur of the moment. He wanted to attack Yimo, but he knew Zhang Chengfeng had taken Yimo's pill, so he could only settle things with Zhang Chengfeng first. If he chose not to attack, then he could do whatever he wanted to Yimo. Yimo said plainly. Manager Peng, City Lord Zhang also saw what happened just then. I believe City Lord Zhang will deal with things with justice. I'm just like City Lord Zhang, someone who values husband-wife relationship. Your all-pill piece of trash dares to assault my wife. It's his luck that I haven't killed him already. Zhang Chengfeng nodded. I saw what happened just then. It was indeed the all-pill tower young master's fault. I support what Brother Yi did. City Lord Zhang, this Yimo is just a foreigner. Are you really going to side with him? Peng Shiping said. Yimo laughed. I have a way to placate your anger. Your young master likes to assault wives, right? You can take him home to assault your wife. How dare you dash? Peng Shiping was about to rage. Zhang Chengfeng sneered, but he didn't talk. He was clearly unhappy. Peng Shiping heard this and realized it was impossible to teach Yimo a lesson at that moment. He thought and got up, saluting Zhang Chengfeng and Yin Zhang, before taking his young master and leaving. Ha ha ha. Yin Zhang saw this and gave Yimo a thumbs up. Brother Yi is indeed fearless. You even gave the young master of the all-pill tower a beating. However, his father Lu Jiuqing is the boss of the River State branch. He's at Golden Core State peak stage. It's said he's trying to reach nascent soul state. With the all-pill tower's abundant resources, it will just be a matter of time. Yimo was quite shocked indeed. He had thought a branch boss would at most be at Golden Core State middle stage. He could stall around a Golden Core State cultivator, but against a nascent soul state cultivator, he wouldn't even be able to talk. As though seeing Yimo's worry, Zhang Chengfeng laughed and said, Brother Yi, don't worry. Just develop your China pharmaceuticals in this city. I don't think that the all-pill tower dares to cross the line here. Yimo saluted him. Thank you, Brother Zhang. I'll stay in this city. Please take this face-preserving pill. Then he gave the pill to Zhang Chengfeng, looking very willing. However, Yimo cursed in his heart. None of these guys were easy to deal with. Zhang Chengfeng got his pill, yet he had only said a few meaningless words. Zhang Chengfeng got what he needed and immediately left Yimo's shop, as though he had never said that they were brothers. This City Lord Zhang was a very pragmatic person. He wouldn't invest on something without getting a benefit. He was a Golden Core State cultivator, and he wasn't going to lower himself to connect with a Foundation Establishment State cultivator. Yimo sighed, wondering whether he should have left the city. After thinking about all of that, he found that Yin Zheng was still sitting in front of him and hadn't left. Yin Zheng saw Yimeau's expression change, but he didn't mind and instead saluted him with his fist. Those two are gone. Now let's introduce each other again. I'm the manager of the Immortal Treasure Tower River State Branch, Yin Zheng. Yimeau was confused by Yin Zheng's attitude and replied, I'm China Pharmaceuticals Yimeau manager Yin. What do you wish to tell me? Yin Zheng smiled. Brother Yi, allow me to be straightforward. I can tell you're a brave person and I know why you gave the pill to City Lord Zhang. Yin Zheng's tone changed, however. I don't think Brother Yi understands City Lord Zhang. Your efforts might not succeed. Once Yin Zheng said this, Yimeau realized that Yin Zheng meant that the face-preserving pill was precious to others, but not so to him. Seeing Yimeau wasn't reply to him, Yin Zheng didn't mind. Do you know why Lord Zhang called you brother? Just like how he doesn't consider us to be at his level, he is still very polite to us. It's all because we have power behind us. Moreover, Brother Ye's master is no ordinary person. Yimeau smiled bitterly. He was no idiot, but he had just realized that Yin Zheng had called him brother because of that non-existent master he had. Ha ha ha. What a pity for Brother Ye's face-preserving pill. Yin Zheng smiled and said. Yimeau didn't really mind and laughed. Brother Yin is really insightful. But, are you telling me these so I can ask to have the pill back? Of course not. Yin Zheng looked at Yimeau and said, The reason I stayed here is because I genuinely want to be friends with Brother Yi. If Brother Yi doesn't mind, I'm willing to take on the conflict between China Pharmaceuticals and the All-Pill Tower. Would I have that honor? Yimeau was already planning to leave the city after realizing what Zhang Chengfeng was thinking, but now Yin Zheng's words confused him. They had just met for the first time. Why did he think so highly of him and was willing to help him? Yin Zheng smiled and said, Brother Yi, our Immortal Treasure Tower has always had conflict with the All-Pill Tower. Even without Brother Ye's things, we're still enemies. The reason I approve of Brother Yi, other than the fact that you're a pill master, is that you're someone that can be a true friend. I don't think I'm wrong. Yimeau wasn't going to keep pretending at this point. It would only benefit him to connect with the Immortal Treasure Tower. So he said, Thank you, Brother Yin, for approving of me. Then I'll be troubling you from now on. In that case, I won't waste time. Brother Yi, the place you rented is actually a property of our Immortal Treasure Tower, and so is the land in a 10,000 m radius from here. If you don't mind, I'll make the decision to give it all to you for the starting step of China Pharmaceuticals, Yin Zheng said without hesitation. Yimeau was really dazed. The land prices were very expensive there. Brother Yi, I truly want to be friends with you. I don't think you're a mere spirit grade level 1 pill master, right? Let me guess, that benefit essence pill came from you? It's a master's work. I came today not for the face-preserving pill. I want to know what grade pill master you are, Brother Yi, Yin Zheng said. Chapter 857, Higher Pill Master. Chapter 857, Higher Pill Master. Yimeau nodded. He understood what Yin Zheng meant, otherwise he wouldn't be accepting what he was giving him. Yes, I'm indeed not a spirit grade level 1 pill master, Yimeau said. He saw genuine will from Yin Zheng, and he didn't have any conflict of interest with the Immortal Treasure Tower. There was no reason for Yin Zheng to harm him. It is so. Yin Zheng got up excitedly. What's the highest level pill Brother Yi can make? He seemed to have a high expectations. Yimeau didn't know what Yin Zheng meant, but he said, Right now, I can make more than 90% of the pills below spirit grade level 6, if I have the recipe. Yimeau was confident he could make all of the spirit grade pills as long as he had the recipe, but he was being humble. What? Your spirit grade level 6 pill master? Yin Zheng was shaking with excitement. There weren't many master of this caliber, not even in the entire North Far State. Even the All-Pill Tower only had one spirit grade level 6 pill master in this city. The entire franchise couldn't have more than 5 pill masters with such skills. Yimeau nodded. He was certain that with time, he could even make heaven-grade pills. Yin Zheng suddenly grabbed Yimeau's hand and asked worriedly, Brother Yi, what's your success rate of making spirit grade level 6 pills? 70%, Yimeau said calmly. The new pill concoction system birthed from the 3-birth chant had a 99% success rate, but 70% was very high already. You can reach 70%? Great, great, great. Yin Zheng said. Brother Yi, I was right about you. I genuinely invite you to join the Immortal Treasure Tower. Don't worry, Brother Yi. I'm not telling you to give up your China pharmaceuticals, but just asking you to make some pills for us in your spare time in your name. So, we'd be hiring you to be our pill master. Yi Mo looked at Yin Zheng. Brother Yin, China Pharmaceuticals is also selling pills. In that case, wouldn't there be a conflict of interest with your tower? Yin Zheng laughed. Brother Yi, the Immortal Treasure Tower has spread over the entire North Far State. Why would we care about a mere shop in River State City? Moreover, our business isn't limited to pills, but also magic artifacts. Brother Yi, you can rebuild your China Pharmaceuticals and take your wife and sister to stay at our place for the moment, Yin Zheng said, seeing that Yi Mo was interested. Yi Mo had already agreed in his heart, but he wanted to ask about the salary. However, they had just given him 10,000 SQM of land. If he still asked for a salary, wouldn't that come off as impolite? Furthermore, he still needed them to deal with the all-pill tower. Yin Zheng was very astute and said, Brother Yi, as for the payment, I know it's half-half usually outside. We're willing to give you 10% of the pills, which means that you only have to give us 60% of the pills. Yi Mo knew this was rather good. Outside, although the pill master and the customer got half each, if the pill master only had a success rate of 60%, he would still have to give the customer half of the pills that could be made with the resources. The extra 10% increase was rather good. Yi Mo said, however, Brother Yin, I can't agree to this arrangement. Yin Zheng was dazed. It was a very good deal. They were just hiring one person specifically, and of course they couldn't do 50-50, like outside. After all, they supplied all the material. If they split it 50-50, it wouldn't be worth for them. However, Yi Mo said, my success rate is 70%. I'll give you guys 70%, and I won't keep any extra. If you approve of me, Brother Yin, agree to this deal. He was sure he had 100% success rate for spirit grade level 6 pills, which meant that he could get 30% for free. This 30% was enough for China Pharmaceuticals to sell. He was very happy with it already. Yin Zheng understood what Yi Mo meant and looked at Yi Mo in an even higher esteem. Okay, I'll take it then. I'll get your pill master badge sorted. Yin Zheng closed down. Yi Mo knew what the pill master badge was. Like the East Black State, the North Far State had a pill association. All the pill masters who could allow the association to approve their mortal grade pills were mortal grade pill masters. For example, a level 1 mortal pill master or level 1 spirit pill master. Those who could make heaven grade pills were called pill kings. There was no title for beyond that, as the highest level on Luoyu continent was only a level 7 pill king. Yi Mo really didn't care about the badge or the title, but since Yin Zheng was willing to help, he wouldn't mind. Yin Zheng could only help him to be recognized as a level 6 spirit pill master. Beyond that, he would have to be tested by the association himself. With the title of a spirit pill master, it would be much easier for him when he dealt with the pill association. Not only could he buy restricted herbs, but he also get discounts. After releasing the news of the Foundation Establishment pill and the face-preserving pill, China Pharmaceuticals released another piece of shocking news. They were going to expand their land and build a China Pharmaceuticals tower. The head pill master of China Pharmaceuticals, Yi Mo, was also hired to be a pill master for the Immortal Treasure Tower. When China Pharmaceuticals Tower was being built, Yi Mo took Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling to the headquarters of the Immortal Treasure Tower. He urged Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling to keep cultivating while he was concocting pills for the Immortal Treasure Tower. When Yi Mo was concocting pills, he realized he could indeed concoct pills while cultivating, and this made him breathe at ease. He didn't want to waste too much cultivation time for pill concoction. It wasn't as good as focusing just on cultivation, but it was better than nothing. When Peng Shiping heard the news, he was dazed, but he could only watch Yi Mo get stronger. Zhang Chengfeng heard these news and smiled plainly when he thought about Yi Mo using the face-preserving pill to suck up to him. Yin Zheng looked cunning, but he was still too inexperienced. Yi Mo had somehow made Yin Zheng hire him. In a matter of a week, The tower was finished. Yi Mo took Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling back to the China Pharmaceuticals Tower. Song Yangzhu was now at stage 4 qi gathering, and Yi Ling at stage 5. What surprised Yin Zheng was that Yi Mo made pills much faster than other pill masters, and this greatly relieved the demand on pills for the Immortal Treasure Tower. Due to this, Yi Mo also got a higher status. With adequate cultivation resources and spirit qi, he was at Foundation Establishment State Level 3 Tertiary Stage. Most of the spirit stones he had earned were used on buying materials. They seemed like forgery materials, but Yi Mo knew that he was buying formation materials. Yi Mo believed that his strongest talent wasn't pill concoction, but setting formations. Chapter 858. Old Friend. Chapter 858. Old friend Yi Mo was indeed planning to set up a few formations around China Pharmaceuticals. The first was a spirit gathering formation. His formation skills exceeded by far formation masters there. Yi Mo was also going to lay an extremely strong defense formation and an attack formation. It was all superficial, however. Yi Mo was secretly building a teleportation formation. If Yi Mo said he could build teleportation formation, perhaps the entire North Far State would be shocked. There were many people who could build formations, but rarely those who could build teleportation formations. It was only people who studied formations for centuries. How old was Yi Mo? However, Yi Mo's specialty was teleportation formations. He had studied it for many years in the small world. With Yi Mo's current level, he could only make a short-distance teleportation formation of 100,000 kilometers. But that was enough for Yi Mo. He was building it as an escape. Even though Yin Zheng was genuine to him, he wasn't going to let others be responsible for his life. The only pity was that he was missing 2 materials. A month later, Sun Jitsai successfully reached Foundation Establishment State and went to China Pharmaceuticals to help. With this, Yi Mo wanted to hire more people. Yi Mo felt that Yi Ling and Song Yangzhu's talent was good and their progress was fast, but working as a shop attendant also greatly affected their cultivation. That Yi Mo had told Sun Jitsai to put up hiring notices. 2 people were stumbling towards China Pharmaceuticals. Behind the 2 of them, there were 2 cultivators chasing them. Yi Mo could tell that the people chasing them were from the All-Pill Tower. Yi Mo was speechless. They were too cocky. Yet, he knew that in this city, as long as you didn't kill overtly, it was fine for the All-Pill Tower to do this. It was a man and woman who were running towards him. The man seemed to be in his 40s, and the woman seemed to be just 30. Her skin was dark and had a round face and big eyes. Yi Mo felt she was familiar. They were both injured. Yi Mo realized that they were ancient martial artists. The man was at black level middle stage, while the woman was at yellow level tertiary stage. Suyu, look. This is China Pharmaceuticals. We're here. The man saw the words and called out in joy. The woman also looked up and charged immediately. Suyu. Yi Mo remembered who this woman was. When he set up the stall in Ninghai to sell runes, he sold one to Su Jingwen and another to the round-faced woman next to her. He couldn't have imagined she was here too. So what if you're here? Believe me when I say that if I want to catch bugs like you, even if you escape to the edge of heaven, I will still kill you. The 2 pursuers sneered. Oh, really? I don't believe you. I want to see how you're going to beat someone here at China Pharmaceuticals. Yi Mo sneered, standing at the door of China Pharmaceuticals. The 2 All-Pill Tower cultivators saw Yi Mo as soon as they came out. They knew who Yi Mo was, a foreign weak cultivator, but he was lucky and got hired by the Immortal Treasure Tower. He was very cocky, and if he even dared to beat their young master, he would beat them too. Yichinbei, these 2 foreign solo cultivators have some conflict with us. Please don't intervene. One stage 7 chi gathering said. Be asteriskal shit. These 2 are my old friends, and you dare attack them in China Pharmaceuticals. Do you think I don't dare kill you? Yi Mo didn't move and just waved his hands. Slap, slap, the 2 chi gathering cultivators from the All-Pill Tower were slapped far away, each spitting out a bunch of teeth, but they didn't dare say anything. The woman covered in wounds recognized Yi Mo and immediately called out in joy, Yi Mo. Are you really Yi Mo? Yi Mo smiled and said, Hello, I didn't think you'd be here too. Go in first. Yemo then glared coldly at the two cultivators. Hurry up and piss off. Do you want me to break your dog legs too? Yemo knew he couldn't do anything to the two men. He was relying on the immortal treasure tower. He didn't have his own power. Their face turned white, but they ran away quickly. Seeing that such powerful men didn't even dare to speak after being slapped, Suyu and the man next to her were even more shocked. They had been at the North Far State for quite some time, and they knew that yellow and black level ancient martial artists were at the very bottom there. Yemo took them in and found out after asking them that the man was called Xingyi Zhang and came from the small world. He had met Suyu here, and their point of connection was Yemo. Yemo dominated the small world, and all of those who cultivated ancient martial arts knew of him. Apart from them, there were a lot more people who crossed the teleportant formation, but they only knew about truth cultivation here. They were old and their talent was average. It was too hard for them to join a sect, so they could only roam around. They heard of a shop called China Pharmaceuticals in River State City, so they rushed over immediately. Xiaoye, you're Su Jingwen's bodyguard. Why are you here like this, and how did you get into a conflict with people from the All-Pill Tower? Yemo sighed. He could tell that the ancient martial artists who had gone there weren't living very well. Suyu sighed. Brother Yi, I'm from the Su family, and my master picked me to learn ancient martial arts because I had some talent. I later on became Sister Jingwen's bodyguard, but some time ago, I heard Sister Jingwen went through the portal, so I came. As for the conflict with them, they were looking for trouble when we asked about China Pharmaceuticals. Thinking about this, Yemo realized that the two martial artists had nowhere to go and he needed to hire people. So he said, if you have nowhere to go, then stay at China Pharmaceuticals. I was hiring people anyways. I can provide you cultivation resources and a cultivation method. They had no place to go anyways, and with such an offer, they agreed without hesitation. Yemo hired 2 more female cultivators, which saved time for Song Yangzhu and Yiling to cultivate. He taught Sunji Tsai some simple pill concoction methods and gave him the job of making ordinary pills. Meanwhile, he dived into formation research. Even with support, the conflict between him and the All-Pill Tower was far from over. He was only lacking 2 materials for the portal, Star Sand and Segment Darth. Yemo just needed ordinary ones. Extreme high-quality ones were very rare. In the second month, China Pharmaceuticals was on the right track. Hence, Yemo was planning on going to search for these 2 materials outside. Song Yangzhu was at stage 5, and Yiling at stage 6. Even Suyu and Xingyi Zhang were at stage 1, and everything seemed fine. Yemo had found out from Yin Zhang that in a week at the Nanshan market, there was going to be an auction that might sell Star Sand. Hence, Yemo asked Yin Zhang to look after China Pharmaceuticals while he sneaked over to the Nanshan market. Chapter 859. Pingyali Family. Chapter 859. Pingyali Family. The Nanshan market wasn't close to River State City, but it could be reached by teleporting to Ganyuan City and then go from there. Yemo knew that if he used the teleportation formation, the All-Pill Tower would know for sure. Although Song Yangzhu and Yiling should be fine, he still didn't want the All-Pill Tower to know he had left the city. Yemo used Li Bison's flying pike to leave. It would cost him an extra few days, but it didn't matter. Yemo was at Foundation Establishment State Level 3 peak now. He was much faster than when Yiling and Song Yangzhu piloted the pike. He spent 2 days to travel half the way. On the 3rd afternoon, Yemo stopped not far from Ganyuan City and found a white snow fox. The fox dashed, and it reminded Yemo of the snow fox he had seen in the Mei Snow Mountains. This fox looked the same, but it was countless times faster. Because snow foxes were animals that could find spirit items, Yemo chased it without thinking. However, the fox was very fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Luckily, it wasn't out of Yemo's spirit sense yet, so Yemo could follow it. Yemo thought it would be easy for him to catch the fox, but 2 hours later Yemo realized that the fox was taking him further and further away. He realized he had no hope. He wasn't as fast as the fox. Just when Yemo was about to give up, a wave of power alerted him. He took back his spirit sense, and even the flying pike. He clearly felt that both powers weren't something he could deal with. It was clear that the powers belonged to Golden Core State cultivators. Yemo used the 3 birth chance stealth ability and retreated. He didn't want to be stopped. But before Yemo could, the 2 golden core state cultivators came in his line of sight. Yemo immediately lay prone without thinking. He didn't even dare to let out his spirit sense. He just hid in a corner, not moving. Ji Changsheng, we're both Zhang Yuan sword sect cultivators. I already gave you the thing. Why are you still trying to kill me? It was a woman's voice. Yemo didn't dare to scan with his spirit sense, so he peeked. He actually knew the woman. The woman was Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling's master, Li Yuqian. Why was Ji Changsheng trying to kill her? They both seemed heavily wounded, but Ji Changsheng was better off than Li Yuqian. Ji Changsheng sneered. You gave me the thing, but you already took one. Do you know what a Chao Huan fruit means to our Li family? It means a nascent soul state cultivator. Of course I can let you go. Just leave behind a drop of your life essence blood. The Chao Huan fruit was a level 6 spirit herb. It was very rare, rarer than a face-preserving fruit because it could be made into a Chao Huan pill. It was a pill needed for reaching nascent soul state. A fully matured Chao Huan plant would bear 9 fruits. He didn't know how many Ji Changsheng had. Although Yemo also desired it, he knew he wouldn't be able to get his hands on it. Keep dreaming. Your surname is Ji. How are you from the Li family? Li Yuqian rejected the proposal without hesitation. Even if she saved her life, giving out her life essence blood meant that she would be someone else's puppet. How could she do something like that? Ji Changsheng sneered and stared at her. I've always been from the Li family. Then, he flashed a jade card with the word Li. Yemo remembered that when he killed Li Bison, he also got a jade card with the word Li in it. It seemed that these 2 men were from the same family. Knowing that Li Bison had such a powerful family member, Yemo felt cold sweat on his back. If Li Changsheng had chased after him, he wouldn't have been able to get away even in the River State City. Ji Changsheng was at least at Golden Core State Tertiary stage, and although Yemo didn't know why 2 months had passed fine, that sense of danger rose up in his heart. Then, should I call you Li Changsheng? Li Changsheng, even if you're from the Li family, was it necessary to kill Elder Han? Was it necessary to kill Elder Yu? You took the Chao Huan fruit. Why are you trying to kill everyone from the same sect? Li Yuqian roared. Ha ha ha. Li Changsheng suddenly laughed and put his sword away. He took out a golden single-edged sword instead. He waved it and said, when I left my family, I stayed at Pingyao City. Yet, the Zhang Yuan sword sect, being a double-edged sword sect, wanted my Li family's illusion cloud 6 strikes. Yu Zhenfei and Han Mu, these 2 old fart ancestors, took people from the Zhang Yuan sword sect and robbed our Li family's illusion cloud 6 strike. We, Li family descendants, swore that one day we would come back to Pingyao City and make a bloodbath with the Zhang Yuan sword sect. Killing Yu Zhenfei and Han Mu is just the beginning. You're from the Pingyao Li family? This means Li Bison is also from the Li family? Li Yuqian was shaking. Clearly, she knew about this story. Li Changsheng said hatefully, if you give me your life essence blood, I can let you go. The Zhang Yuan sword sect won't exist anymore anyways. It will only remain the Li family. You took one of my Chao Huan fruits, and you're now at Golden Core State Tertiary stage. If you join the Li family, you could even reach nascent soul state. Li Qinyu's face went pale. Li Changsheng said pridefully, this time, I got 5 Chao Huan fruits. Other than Li Bison and me, there are 3 more Golden Core State cultivators in the Li family, and they're all at Golden Core State Tertiary stage. There will be at least 2 of us reaching nascent soul state. If that happens, we would have the foundations for a 4-star sect. The Zhang Yuan sword sect will be nothing. If you know what's good keep dreaming. Even if I die, I won't hand over my life essence blood. Li Yuqian interrupted him without hesitation and spun her sword to attack Li Changsheng. Li Changsheng sneered and said, I've reached the 5th strike of the illusion cloud 6 strikes. I want to see how many strikes you can block. Yemo hadn't thought that Li Yuqian could already be at Golden Core State Tertiary stage. That Chao Huan fruit was really not bad. Li Changsheng could take the upper hand easily, which meant that he was at least at Golden Core State peak. Li Changsheng and Li Yuqian were more or less on the same level, so Yemo no longer had the intention of running. If he hit on the side, when they both got injured, he would have an opportunity. Suddenly, a huge explosion sounded. Li Changxing's first strike had clashed with Li Yuqian's flying sword. Li Yuqian spat mouthfuls of blood. Even from this far, Yimo felt the killing intent of the sword qi. Chapter 860. Ambushing a Golden Core State Cultivator. Chapter 860. Ambushing a Golden Core State Cultivator. Li Yuqian grabbed some runes expressionlessly and activated all of them in an instant. She then took out a bright red feather and weaved a few hand signs. The feather immediately turned into a 10-meter-long fiery vortex that enveloped Li Changxing. Such power. Yimo could tell this was Li Yuqian's trump card. Now was best time to intervene. Yimo was a straightforward person. He knew that Li Yuqian's means would bring Li Changxing some trouble, but it wouldn't be enough to defeat him. If he didn't move now, he wouldn't have that opportunity. At the same time, Li Yuqian attacked. Yimo secretly released Shadowless. Li Changxing sneered and used the second strike. The runes Li Yuqian had activated turned into a sea of flames. Yimo could tell that it had been caused by at least level 5 or above runes. However, Li Changxing's one strike quenched all the flames, while not even a strand of his hair was burnt. Yimo thought that Li Changxing was so strong. Sizzle. Yimo knew that it was the flaming vortex. If that couldn't injure Li Changxing either, then Yimo decided not to send out Shadowless. Li Changxing sliced away the runes. He saw an overwhelming amount of flames come at him, but he smirked. The next moment, his golden sword gathered countless golden sword qi and sliced the flaming vortex. Sizzle. Li Changxing's expression changed drastically. The flame seemed to pose a great threat to him. Li Fire Feather? Li Changxing called out these words, and the golden color disappeared from his sword. His clothes and hair turned into ashes. Except his inner protection spirit artifact, he didn't have a single strand of clothes on him. Yimo realized that now was the best time to attack. So without thinking, he sent out Shadowless to attack Li Changxing, while gathering all the cultivation essence to activate the 3-birth sword ray. He would have sent out Winter's Arrival if he hadn't been concerned that it might affect the Li Fire Feather's power. Li Yuqian was already at her limit due to activating the feather. Hence, she had to burn her essence blood to send out her flying sword to attack Li Changxing, who was focused on defending himself against the flames. Li Changxing could only prevent her from damaging his vitals, but the flying sword still pierced his body. Usually, these wounds meant nothing. However, he was using his full power to defend himself from the fire, and he couldn't heal himself. Just when Li Yuqian sat on the ground, she saw Yimo dart out. When she saw Yimo attack Li Changxing with his flying sword, she was truly dazed. She didn't know whether Yimo was simply innocently brave or had a plan. Yet, she could barely talk, so she could only watch as Yimo attack Li Changxing. Li Changxing was furious when he saw that a mere Foundation Establishment State Cultivator dared to attack him, but all of his cultivation essence was being used up by the Li Fire Feather, and he didn't have a spare hand to fight back when he saw countless sword rays birthed from Yimo's flying sword. His expression finally changed. He was going to be able to leave the fire in a little while, but that Foundation Establishment State Cultivator had chosen the perfect timing. Arg! Li Changxing roared and burned his essence blood. But even so, Li Changxing's cultivation essence wall was easily burned down by the fire. Who are you? How dare you ambush me? Do you think you can kill me? I suggest you leave now, or you will die for sure today, Li Changxing threatened him. Yimo smiled and ordered Shadowless to dash into Li Changxing's body. When Shadowless got in, Yimo breathed at ease. He knew that Shadowless wasn't enough to take down a Golden Core State Cultivator, but Li Changxing was distracted by him and the fire. What is this? Li Changxing felt Shadowless as soon as it got inside Li Changxing's body, and he tried to push it out with his cultivation essence. Yimo hadn't expected Li Changxing to be this strong. He had only used a little of his cultivation essence, but he had managed forced Shadowless out. Shadowless was Yimo's trump card. Yimo didn't think he stood any chance of winning a fight against Li Changxing. Without thinking, he activated the second stance of the 3-birth sword ray, attacking Li Changxing's vitals. Li Changxing couldn't deal with Shadowless anymore, and focused his mind on dealing with the fire and the 3-birth sword ray. At this moment, Yi sent Shadowless in Li Changxing's body again. Seeing that the fire was growing weaker, Yi burned his essence blood to make his 3-birth sword ray stronger. He couldn't let Li Changxing have it easy now. Li Changxing was furious at Yi's way of fighting. Li Changxing had decided to ignore that small thing. He didn't think something that a Foundation establishment state released would be enough to threaten him. He just needed to annihilate the flames, and he could then easily kill that Foundation establishment state cultivator. Yi immediately noticed Li Changxing's intentions and rejoiced. He ordered Shadowless not to eat Li Changxing's essence blood, but to eat his organs. However, it was a very slow process. When Li Changxing found out that Shadowless was something that ate organs, he rested at ease and wasn't as careful as before, but he still kept an eye on it. Even if he didn't do anything, this thing wouldn't be able to eat his organs. Moreover, even if his organs were partly eaten, he could recover them quickly. Li Changxing smirked. He knew he had one. When Li Yuqian saw the flames grow weaker, her eyes were full of despair. She hadn't expected Li Changxing to be able to annihilate it this quickly. Yi saw the flames die and knew time was up. He controlled Shadowless to devour Li Changxing's Dantian and essence blood as quickly as it could. Instantly, Shadowless devoured all of Li Changxing's Dantian. In that instant, Li Changxing realized what was going on, but Shadowless was too fast. He couldn't even react and his Dantian had already been devoured. Li Changxing was shook. He wanted to force out Shadowless, so he ignored the flames and the 3-birth sword ray. However, Shadowless was too fast. It already was devouring Li Changxing's meridians and essence blood. Li Changxing forgot about the flames in his worry. Sizzle, there was a burning smell of meat. Li Changxing's body crumbled down rapidly and Yi dealt the final blow, piercing Li Changxing's body with the 3-birth D-word ray. Curse you! Li Changxing swore as he struggled. He had been killed by a Foundation establishment state insect. Li Yuqian, who couldn't move at all, stared at this shocking scene unable to say a word. Things had happened too fast, and she fainted immediately when she relaxed. Chapter 861. This should be an adequate reason. Chapter 861. This should be an adequate reason. Yi saw that he had already killed Li Changxing, yet the fire wasn't dead yet. Shadowless was enjoying a big meal, and he didn't want it to get hurt, so he sent out Winter's arrival. A frigid coldness instantly extinguished the flame and formed an ice cocoon on the surface of Li Changxing's charred corpse. After a moment, Shadowless flew out of Li Changxing's body and wobbly fell into Yi's hand. It stopped moving immediately and fell asleep. Yi sent Shadowless into the Golden Page world and found that only a third of Li Changxing's essence blood was gone. Yi sighed. A golden core state cultivator wasn't someone that Shadowless could deal with now. Shadowless couldn't even finish all the essence blood. The reason that Li Changxing could have been killed was due to a myriad of reasons, but his 3-birth sword ray was the weakest one. Yi scanned Li Yuqian, who had already fallen unconscious, and ignored her. He took Li Changxing's storage ring immediately. There were a few encrypted formations on the ring, but Li Changxing was dead, and it posed no problem to a formation master like Yi. Yi didn't spend much time until he completely decrypted Li Changxing's ring. When he saw the things inside, he couldn't keep calm anymore. What excited him the most was the Chao Huan fruit. Even in a clear jade box, it was very eye-catching. There were countless spirit stones. Even after comparing the earnings he had made from China Pharmaceuticals, they were nothing compared to Li Changxing's. There were tens of millions of low-grade spirit stones and nearly 1 million middle-grade spirit stones. However, Yi felt the most happy when he saw 1,000 top-grade spirit stones inside. Other than this, there were more than 10 cultivation jade slips. Yi flipped through them casually. They kept record of some cultivation methods and sword abilities, as well as high-level pills. There were also at least 6 spirit artifacts and some materials. Yi took Li Changxing's ring happily. It was good business. He burned Li Changxing with a fireball and looked at Li Yuqian. He didn't know what to do with her. If he was ruthless, he would have killed her and taken her ring. Yet, Yi really couldn't do that mainly because she had treated Song Yangzhu and Yiling quite well, despite looking down on him a little. Realizing that she was still Song Yangzhu and Yiling's master, Emo took out a Lotus Life pill and gave it to her. The Lotus Life pill was a scarce pill for recovery, but the ones he made were rather low quality. However, it could still wake her up. Emo didn't have many left either. He only had 3 left now. Emo took an essence recovery pill and started to recover his cultivation essence. He wanted to leave after she woke up. After all, it was a barren place. Also, he still wanted to find out about how powerful the Li family was. He had killed 3 members of the Li family. If they found out about it, they would never let him go. Li Yuqian woke up soon after taking the Lotus Life pill, and she saw Emo, who wasn't far away. She remembered what happened before and struggled trying to get up before taking a few more pills. 15 minutes later, they both finished digesting the pills. Li Yuqian didn't get up. She just looked calmly at Emo and asked, "I'm a golden core state cultivator. I have lots of good things in my storage ring. Why didn't you kill and take it?" Emo smiled calmly. "Your things don't interest me, but no matter how much I would want it, I wouldn't kill you." Li Yuqian hadn't expected this reply. She was dazed before asking, "Why?" Emo stood up and smiled. "Because you're Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling's master." Li Yuqian was dazed. She hadn't expected it to have such a simple reason. She remembered that at the Miaoshan market, she didn't even consider Emo to have good talent, and she thought Emo wouldn't even have a chance to see Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling later on, as they didn't belong in the same world. Yet ironically, she had met Emo so soon again and had been saved by an insect in her eyes. Emo, who she thought had no future, was now at Foundation Establishment State Level 3 Peak and had killed a Golden Core State Peak stage cultivator not long ago. Even she had to recognize Emo's absurd power since she also knew Li Changxing's power very well. Even with her fire's help, it had been no easy task for Emo to kill him. If he had been that easy to kill, then she could have done it after releasing the fire, yet she couldn't. Seeing Li Yuqian stare at him for a long time and not speak, Emo said again, "Although Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling have left the Zhengyuan sword sect, you were quite nice to them. I think that reason is adequate enough." "What? They left? What's this?" Li Yuqian asked in shock. Hearing this, Emo realized that she had never even gone back since she last left the sect. No wonder she didn't know. It seemed Li Changxing didn't know the Li Bai brothers were dead either. Emo said, "Because I killed Li Belan and offended Li Bailson. Then I killed Li Bison, so I could only take them and run away." "What? You killed Li Bailson?" Li Yuqian immediately realized that Emo had killed 3 elite members of the Li family. Emo told her everything. Li Yuqian heard this and fell silent for a long while. It's inconvenient for a Foundation Establishment State cultivator to take them outside. If you believe me, then take them and come back to the sect with me. I can guarantee you their safety. Emo sneered to himself. She wouldn't be able to guarantee her own safety. Li Changxing had said himself that the sect would be run by the Li family soon. Li Yuqian noticed Emo's feelings and smiled plainly. "Do you think the Li family will attack the sect? Our sect has been passed on for many generations. If we know about their scheme and we still can't deal with them, the sect won't need to exist anymore." Emo smiled and didn't reply. It was impossible for him to go back with her. Just when he wanted to ask her some questions, a faint ray of fire landed in front of Li Yuqian and Li Yuqian grabbed it. It was Flying Sword message. Emo could tell by the fire that it was urgent, so he waited on the side. After reading it, Li Yuqian's expression changed drastically. After being in a daze for a long while, she said with disillusion, "So that's it. This is such a pity." "Li Qianbei, what's wrong?" Emo asked. Li Yuqian said, "Emo, where are you staying with Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling right now?" Emo didn't know why she was asking this, but he still replied, "I opened up a pill shop at River State City, but I might be leaving there. I want to ask Qianbei, how much do you know about the Li family?" Li Yuqian shook her head. "You don't have to worry about them anymore. They are in the past. They were annihilated by the sect yesterday." Emo rejoiced. It seemed like he didn't need to worry about being hunted. If he had known this earlier, he wouldn't have told Li Yuqian where he was staying. Who knew if she would want the things in Li Changxing's storage ring later on? However, Why was she acting weirdly? Chapter 862. Li Yuqian, victim of a scheme. Chapter 862. Li Yuqian, victim of a scheme. Why didn't she seem happy about the news? Do you think that I should be happy about the news? Li Yuqian suddenly asked. Yi Mo nodded. Yes, you just said that the sect was strong and that it wasn't afraid of the Li family. Why do you suddenly seem like that you don't want the Li family to be annihilated? Li Yuqian gave the flying sword message to Yi Mo. You will know after you read it. It was sent secretly by my close friend. Yi Mo read the message. It was very short. The Li family was annihilated yesterday. The burst soul pill of the Li family is on Li Changsheng. If you get these news while still free, run away immediately. I've left already. If you're trapped, tell Dash. The message was getting unclear and eventually disappeared. Li Yuqian sighed. You opened up a pill store. Even if you're not a pill master, you should know about the burst soul pill, right? Yi Mo nodded. This pill was for golden core state tertiary stage cultivators. After taking it, one would gain a burst of power for 4 hours. A golden core state peak stage cultivator could even reach nascent soul state middle stage. This pill was similar to the burst essence pill, but the ingredients for the pill were even rarer than the Chao Huan fruit. Its side effects were also much more potent than the burst essence pills. The consumer would lose 3 levels of power. If a golden core state peak stage was lucky, he would be able to remain at golden core state primary stage. If not, he would drop to foundation establishment state. Moreover, the ingredients used for the pill could be used for hollow spirit state pills, so rarely anyone would use it to make such a useless burst soul pill. Yet, the message said that the Li family had won and it had been passed down. Li Yuqian then said despondently, the one who told us about the ruin and arranged for us to come here was the big elder of the sect, Qian Tuashui. He was supposed to come, but he couldn't make it in last minute. Hearing this, he understood and asked, are you saying Qian Tuashui sent you 3 to die? Hold Li Changxing back and make him take the burst soul pill? Meanwhile, the sect would annihilate the Li family? Li Yuqian nodded. That should be it. Yi Mo took a breath in. They had used the Chao Huan fruit as a bait. Then he said, if it had been me, I wouldn't want to lose these good items. Li Yuqian shook her head. You're wrong. He doesn't know about the Chao Huan fruit. If he did, he wouldn't have let it go. We never reached our target place. We were trapped in a trap formation for a few months. We only broke free yesterday, and then we saw a stealth formation. After breaking in, we found the Chao Huan fruit. So in the end, we never got to the place Li Tuashui told us to go. Yi Mo frowned. He felt things didn't seem right. He thought and asked, I still have 2 questions, Qianbei. First, how could Li Changxing get injured if he had the burst soul pill? He could easily kill a golden core state cultivator if he took it. Second, how could Qian Tuashui be sure that Li Changxing would want to kill you as soon as you guys found the place? Li Yuqian said, who can predict everything in the world? In his eyes, Zhenfei and Han Mu are at golden core state peak stage and tertiary stage respectively. With my middle stage peak power, Li Changxing would have never succeed if he didn't take the burst soul pill. He didn't expect us not to find the ruin he provided us, but instead we found the Chao Huan fruit. He also didn't expect Li Changxing to be this cunning and decisive. If you hadn't been here, Li Changxing would have succeeded. Did you 4 break the stealth formation first, and then find the Chao Huan fruit? Li Changxing said for everyone to consume one first? Yi Mo asked. Li Yuqian looked approvingly at Yi Mo and said, yes, when we found the Chao Huan fruit, I was very happy too. No one objected to Li Changxing's proposal, so we ate one each. But while we were digesting the fruit, Li Changxing ate the fruit but didn't start to digest it. He killed Han Mu and heavily injured Zhenfei while they were cultivating. However, he was heavily injured too by Zhenfei's counterattack. But I was able to digest the fruit while they were fighting and reach golden core state tertiary stage. Yi Mo nodded. No wonder Li Changxing hadn't taken the burst soul pill. Li Yuqian continued, I knew I was no match for him, so I ran. And you know what happened afterwards? Yi Mo understood the full story now. It seemed like a burst soul pill was in the ring, and he didn't even know about it. He could sell it for money, even if he didn't need it. Yimo looked at the fatigued Li Yuqian and asked, "Doesn't the Zhang Yuan sword sect also have a nascent soul state cultivator? Why be afraid of the burst soul pill?" Li Yuqian smiled bitterly. Grand Elder Wang failed in reaching hollow spirit state 30 years ago and died. If Elder Wang were still here, not even a 4-star sect would dare to fight us, much less the Li family. That Qian Tuashui wouldn't dare use us as a bait either. Another reason that Li Yuqian hadn't mentioned was that Qian Tuashui had sent them to die because they also disagreed with merging the sect with the Hidden Sword sect. Yimo understood what was going on, but he didn't want to stay with Li Yuqian. After all, she was at Golden Core state, and he was at Foundation Establishment state. "What plans do you have now, Li Qinbei?" Yimo thought and asked. Li Yuqian hesitated before saying, "I was born in the Zhang Yuan sword sect, but I don't want to go back now, so I don't have a place to go. If you don't mind, I can tell my senior disciple to come out, and we can go together to your pill shop." Yimo shook his head. "I don't mind that, but if you're coming with your senior disciple, then you don't need to come to my place. If I'm not wrong, your senior disciple allied with Li Bailson. Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling were in trouble due to her." Then, Yimo explained what happened at the peak. Hearing the story, Li Yuqian's face changed many times before giving a long sigh. "In that case, I'll go to the river state myself. Yangzhu and Yi Ling are my disciples. I didn't teach them much. I can go to river state to recover and teach them." Yimo couldn't really stop her now. He took out 3 Chao Huan fruits and gave them to Li Yuqian. "Qianbei, you can have these. I got 5 altogether." Li Yuqian's face changed and said with a sunken expression, "Yimo, I've always lived in the sect and I rarely went out. So, I don't think about a lot of things. If you think I'm going to River State for the fruits, then I won't go. It's precious, but first, I don't know how to concoct pills, nor do I know high-level pill masters. It's useless to me." Hearing this, Yimo took it back and said, "Sorry, Qianbei, I misunderstood you. In that case, I'll take back the fruit. I know a pill master who can make heaven-grade level 1 pills. I can give you a Chao Huan pill later." "What? You know a level 1 pill king?" Li Yuqian couldn't stay calm anymore. Chapter 863, Nan Shan Market. Chapter 863, Nan Shan Market. Even a nascent soul state cultivator had to be respectful to a level 1 pill king. The main pills used by nascent soul state cultivators were spirit grade level 8 and 9 pills, and maybe heaven grade level 1 pills. Only pill kings could make heaven level pills. Yimo also felt proud of himself. Although he couldn't make the Chao Huan pill right now, he believed he could in a few months. Yimo nodded seriously. "Yes, my master is a pill king. He can make the Chao Huan pill." Yimo felt like that non-existent master was quite a convenient card, so he played it again. Yimo's master was a pill king? Li Yuqian was dazed. She hadn't, though Yimo could have such a big background. Yimo probably met the master after encountering her, since it would have been quite easy to help Song Yangzhu and Yi Ling find a nascent soul state master. Thinking about this, Li Yuqian said gratefully, "Then I'm grateful to your master." Yimo smiled. "You're Yangzhu and Yi Ling's master. Also, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to get the Chao Huan fruit. A Chao Huan pill is nothing compared to that, but since you have decided to go to River State, I think it's best to go as soon as possible. We shouldn't stay here for long." "Then, do we go there now?" Li Yuqian could sense that Yimo was a lot more experienced in the world and fighting than her, so she asked for his opinion. "No, I'm going to the Nanshan market first. But first, I'll find a place for Qianbei to recover," Yimo replied. Li Yuqian thought for a moment and said, "In that case, I'll go with you to the market after I've recovered." Yimo waved his hand. "Qianbei, if I'm not wrong, it definitely won't be long until Zheng Tuashui goes to the ruins he told you about. If he finds that none of you guys went, he will know that something went wrong. No matter what, he won't be at ease. He will try to find one of you first. With your Golden Core state reputation, Zheng Tuashui will know immediately if you go to the market. So, it's best that you head secretly to my place to recover. You should change your face too." Yemo wanted to go to the ruins and damage it, making the scene seem like 3 out of the 4 cultivators had died and Li Chongqing had gotten away. However, Yemo was aware that it would be very hard for him to do that with his current power. Even knowing that they had managed to break the trap formation Qian Tuoshui had made, he didn't dare to try anything. If they had happened to encounter the Great Elder, they would have never gotten away. Liu Qian nodded. They packed their things and quickly left. Half a day later, they were more than 100,000 kilometers away from where the battle had taken place. Liu Qian was quite heavily injured, so Yemo had no other option but to wait for her to recover. There were still 3 days left until the auction, so Yemo wasn't in too much of a rush. After a day, Liu Qian had recovered greatly. She took out a mask and gave it to Yemo. "This is for you. You are capable of hiding next to me and Li Chongqing and not be noticed, which means that you have a really good stealth cultivation method. I don't have anything good. This mask is called 9 Transformations. After you spirit control it, it can change into 9 different faces. No one under hollow spirit state will be able to recognize you. It's yours." Yemo knew it was a very good artifact. It was probably very valuable to Liu Qian too. He quickly rejected it. "Qianbei, I don't have a lot of enemies. Qianbei should keep this for yourself." Liu Qian shook her head. "I will put on a mask after I get to River State City. I will be staying inside China Pharmaceuticals until I reach nascent soul state, unless something happens. I don't need it. However, you might need it for the auction." Hearing this, Yemo agreed and took it. He also found the burst soul pill in Li Chongqing's storage ring and gave it to Liu Qian. Liu Qian was aware that it wasn't much use to Yemo, so she took it and the 2 cultivators followed their own paths. Yemo only took a day to get to the Nanshan market. The place wasn't owned by a sect. It had developed into a large-scale cultivation market. It was said that there was a nascent soul state peak stage cultivator protecting this place, so everyone felt very safe making deals there. No one would dare offend a nascent soul state peak stage cultivator. Yemo was planning on finding a hotel to stay for the night, but because he had arrived too late, many hotels were full. There were cultivation homes too, but Yemo wasn't going to rent one just for one night. It was too extravagant. When Yemo went to the 8th hotel, Yemo finally was told by the receptionist that there was a room available. However, the room was more than twice as expensive as the other ones. It was 50 spirit stones a night. "Okay, then I'll take this room." Suddenly, someone said, "Are there top-quality rooms here?" The voice was crisp and prideful. Yemo turned around to see a pretty woman in her 20s. She was wearing a pink dress and had fair skin. Her hair was tied up beautifully with butterfly ornaments on it. She was even prettier than Song Yangzhu. Moreover, she was that young and was already at Foundation Establishment State Level 7. Behind her, there was a not-so-handsome young man in his 20s. His skin was a little dark and he had a squared face. He seemed very innocent. He walked behind the girl, but he didn't talk. However, he was also at Foundation Establishment State Level 7. The waiter was shook by the girl's beauty, and it took him a while to react. There was just one top-grade room, but this friend here already took it. There's another low-grade room, but it's rather cheap. 8 spirit stones a night. Yemo heard this and wondered why the receptionist hadn't told him about it too. He could have saved 42 spirit stones. The difference was just in the level of spirit chi inside the rooms. Hearing this, the woman immediately looked at Yemo and said, "Give me your top-grade room. You can have the low-grade room." If the woman had asked nicely, Yemo would have agreed for sure. Yet she made it sound like she deserved to stay at the top-grade room, whereas he belonged at the low-grade room. Without thinking, he threw 50 spirit stones on the counter. "I need to rest. Hurry up and do the procedures." Seeing that Yemo was ignoring her, the woman raised her eyebrow. She was about to rage, but the dark-skinned young man quickly went to him and saluted him with his fists before taking out 10 middle-grade spirit stones and said politely, "Sorry, big brother, please help me out. This is a small amount but dash." Yemo smiled and took back the middle-grade spirit stones and his own coins and gave 8 low-grade spirit stones to the receptionist. "On this brother's account, I'll stay in the low-grade room." Chapter 864. Acquire Star Sand. Chapter 864. Acquire Star Sand. The red-clothed woman saw Yemo take the spirit stones and smiled contemptuously. She was just about to mock Yemo when the dark-faced young man said, "Sir, since this big brother doesn't want the top-grade room, can you give it to us?" The waiter had no objections. He gave the top-grade room to the man and woman. Seeing Yemo leave, the woman scorned, "Poor piece of sh*t. How can you even dream about staying at the top-grade room?" Yemo heard this, but pretended he hadn't. He didn't even want to look back. Meanwhile, that dark-faced man shook his head helplessly. The woman saw this and cursed, "Yuruyu, why are you shaking your head? If you don't want to be with me, then p***s off." The man carefully replied, "Haydn, Uncle said that there are many masters in the cultivation realm. We should try not to offend people outside." "Oomph." The woman went into the room and ignored the young man. Although it was a low-grade room, Yemo was very satisfied. It didn't have a spirit-gathering formation, but it had everything else. It still had quite plenty of spirit chi, due to the nearby spirit-gathering formations. The 8 spirit stones were worth the money. Yemo immediately started to cultivate. He made a few more defense formations and took a few benefit essence pills. Yemo's power caused a big commotion. It formed a huge spirit chi swirl, but luckily, there were a lot of high-level cultivators in all the nearby hotels, and they all didn't want to waste time. So, although Yemo caused quite a commotion, it wasn't very eye-catching. 6 hours later, Yemo felt his meridians expand once again, and after a light crack, the cultivation essence in his body expanded like dividing cells. It was almost twice as strong as before, as it spread to all corners of Yemo's meridians before gathering at his dantian again. Yemo rejoiced. He had reached foundation establishment state middle stage. He took out tins of top-grade spirit stones without thought and started to use them for consolidation. He wouldn't mind if he had to take out all of his spirit stones for cultivation. Yemo felt that not only had he gotten back all the essence blood he had burnt, but his spirit senses range also could reach tens of kilometers more. Yemo got up and cleaned the dirt off his body. He no longer felt tired, so he used his spare time to take out 9 transformations. He simply spirit-controlled it and walked out of his room. Not far away, Yemo saw Yuruyu sitting at the doorway meditating. Without giving it too much thought, Yemo realized that it must have been that rude girl not letting him in. Yemo had a good impression of Yuruyu. Although that Haydn was pretty, she didn't deserve the dark-faced young man. "Brother Yu, if you don't mind, you can stay for the night at my place." Yemo walked up to Yuruyu and said. He had finished his cultivation and didn't have anything to do. Yuruyu saw that Yemo was walking over to him and talking. He couldn't pretend he didn't see Yemo anymore. So he got up awkwardly and said, "Big brother, hello? I appreciate your goodwill, but I can't." Yemo smiled and didn't try persuading Yuruyu. He was just about to leave when he heard Yuruyu ask, "Big brother, you're also here for the auction, right?" Yemo nodded. "Yes, I want to see if there is any star sand or segmented earth. And my name is Yemo. Just call me Yemo from now on." Yuruyu heard this and said in shock, "Top-grade star sand and segmented earth is very expendash." Yuruyu stopped halfway, realizing that some things weren't appropriate to say out loud. However, Yemo knew that the reason Yuruyu was so polite to him was primarily due to his character, but also due to the fact that Yuruyu couldn't tell how strong he was. Yemo laughed. "I don't need top-grade, just ordinary ones." After thinking for a moment, Yuruyu suddenly pulled out a fist-sized ore and gave it to Yemo. "I randomly got this low-grade chunk of star sand. Do you have any use for it, brother Yi?" Yemo hadn't thought Yuruyu would have star sand. Even low-grade star sand wasn't easily found. Yemo grabbed the star sand and looked at it carefully. It was low-grade star sand indeed, and it wasn't big. However, it was enough for Yemo already. After confirming this, Yemo quickly thanked him. "Thank you, brother Yu. This is what I want. Please, name a price." Yuruyu saw that he had given Yemo what he needed, so he said happily, "Brother Yi, I got this by chance. It has no use for me. If you need it, just take it. No need to talk about money." Yemo was dazed. He had only met Yuruyu twice. They were just strangers. Why did he still choose to give him the star sand? Seeing this, Yuruyu quickly said, I have a good impression of Brother Yi, and your power is great. My companion offended Brother Yi, but Brother Yi didn't mind. So I want to give this to you. I hope you will take it. Yiamo realized that Yuruyu couldn't see his power level. He thought that he was a golden core state cultivator. Haydn had cursed him, and Yiamo had heard it for sure, but he still didn't care about it. This made Yuruyu very grateful. Yuruyu seemed to want to connect with him. Yiamo heard this and quickly waved his hand. Brother you might have seen wrong. My power level isn't as strong as yours. This piece of star sand is low grade, but it's still worth a lot. I don't feel comfortable taking it without paying you. Yuruyu heard this and was shook. He was just at Foundation Establishment State Level 7, but he could see through Golden Core State primary stage cultivators. However, he couldn't see through Yiamo at all. He had to come from a big sect. Seeing that Yuruyu wasn't going to take the spirit stones no matter what, Yiamo just accepted the star sand and took out 2 more chairs. He then started chatting with Yuruyu. After introducing each other, Yiamo realized that Yuruyu really had big background. He was the core disciple of a 5-star sect, the Godsword sect. His father was the previous sect leader and the current Grand Elder. Yiamo didn't ask about his father's power. It was at least nascent soul state peak, or even hollow spirit state. Haydn came from the duo Heart Valley, which also a 5-star sect. The parents of both parties had sent the 2 of them to the auction to also experience the world a bit. Yuruyu came from a 5-star sect, but he was very polite and humble. This reminded Yiamo of the 5-star West Flow sect's young master, Shanjiansheng. He was beyond cocky, and if they hadn't transmigrated, he and Luoying would have died in his hands. He even annihilated their sect. Yiamo had endless killing intent when thinking about Shanjiansheng. Yuruyu, how can you be so shameless? Connecting with any random piece of trash. You're making me lose all my face. A crisp voice sounded. Haydn was standing at the door. Chapter 865. The person who bought the core building grass. Chapter 865. The person who bought the core building grass. The night had passed, lost in their conversation, and it was daytime. Yuruyu heard Haydn's words and quickly said to Yiamo, Sorry, Brother Yi. Yiamo smiled calmly. He wasn't going to care about what that woman said on Yuruyu's account. He waved his hand. Brother Yu, as a friend, I'll give you a word of advice. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Then, Yiamo turned away to leave. Yuruyu understood this and Haydn heard it too, but by the time she reacted, Yiamo had already left. Haydn's pretty face was red with anger. Although she looked down on Yuruyu, her pride had been hurt being called not worth it. She couldn't exert her anger on Yiamo, so she kicked Yuruyu on the chest. Yuruyu didn't dare dodge and was kicked many meters away. He fell down the stairs. Yiamo saw this scene with his spirit sense and shook his head. Yiamo put on 9 transformations and changed into a middle-aged man before heading to the auction. The auction was quite busy indeed. The entrance was filled with people. There were no limitations, so you could go as long as you had spirit stones. The entrance fee was 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. People could sit anywhere they wanted, but 10,000 spirit stones was the price for a simple room, 100,000 spirit stones for a high-level room, and 300,000 for an extremely grand room. Yiamo simply spent 10,000 low-grade spirit stones for a simple room. The room was simple, but Yiamo was happy with it after going inside. It wasn't small, and one could see the auction board through the display formation. There was no room service, though. If you wanted a female cultivator to serve you, you needed to go to the 100,000 spirit stones rooms or higher. Yiamo scanned his spirit sense out carefully and found that he could only see the people sitting in open space, but no one from the rooms. Yiamo also found out that the higher-level rooms had better spirit sense shielding formations. Yiamo immediately wondered whether he should make a better spirit sense shielding formation. He had the skills and materials. Just at this moment, a strong spirit sense scanned into his room and went through him without any pause. The spirit sense was very strong. It was from an at least nascent soul state cultivator. However, From the way he scanned everyone's room without concern, EMO could tell that this person could be at hollow spirit state already. EMO didn't hesitate and started building a spirit sense shielding formation. He didn't want people scanning his room so easily. In about 15 minutes, EMO finished a simple spirit sense shielding formation. This formation couldn't block hollow spirit state spirit senses, but together with the original formation of the room, it was enough to block nascent soul state spirit senses. The auction had started now, so EMO had to stop making more formations. He had made up his mind to make some more formation discs in his spare time. With that, he could just take one out and use it, instead of working on everything from scratch. As soon as EMO sat down, a few more spirit senses scanned over, but they were all blocked by his formation. It was as safe as a 300,000 spirit stones room now. A beautiful woman in her 30s got up on the stage and smiled at everyone. This auction is held by the Nanshan Market. You and Mingqian Bei, as well as me, will be hosting the auction. I'm Lu Yin. I hope everyone can get what you want from this auction. We will be using middle-grade spirit stones for everything, so please make bids using middle-grade spirit stones. Okay, let's get started. EMO noticed that the woman was at least at Golden Core State Tertiary stage. EMO didn't dare study the two old men behind her. From their temperament, they were at least nascent soul state cultivators. The Nanshan Market was powerful indeed. Anyone could kill him easily. EMO didn't scan other rooms because he knew there wouldn't be anyone weaker than him. Lu Yin knocked with the mace-like artifact and said, "Everyone, the first item of the day is Gung Metal Essence. The starting bid is 10,000 middle-grade spirit stones. Each increment must be no lower than 1,000. Lu Yuan raised the piece of Gung Metal Essence. It was the size of 2 fists. EMO sighed. The one he had bought from the small world was the size of a basket, yet he had bought it with just some gold. Gung Metal Essence had a wide variety of uses. It could be used to make spirit and magic artifacts. Soon, it was bought for 15,000 spirit stones. The next 2 items were spirit artifacts, both sold for more than 50,000 middle-grade spirit stones. EMO realized that he was lucky to have found Li Chongqing's ring, or he wouldn't have been able to buy anything with his earnings. When a spirit grade level 2 cultivation method was sold for 500,000 spirit stones, the crowd was rowdy. EMO realized that he had rejoiced too early. He only had about 2 million middle-grade spirit stones and 10 million low-grade spirit stones. That was more or less 3 million middle-grade spirit stones in value. EMO could only hope that segmented earth wasn't too expensive, or he wouldn't be able to afford it. Now, we're going to auction one of the most sought items in this auction. You guessed it, the core building grass. Its starting price is 1 million. Each increment must be no less than 10,000. With this, the scene went wild. EMO could only sigh. He couldn't fight for it at all. Core building grass was one of the main ingredients for the cultivation increasing pill. It was very rare. It was a level 5 spirit herb. The cultivation increasing pill was a pill for foundation establishment state peak cultivators to reach golden core state. There were a few pills that could also do the same, but the cultivation increasing pill was undoubtedly one of the best. The only difficulty was that it required a level 7 spirit pill master to make it. There was only one level difference between spirit level 6 and 7, but some people were never be able to make this step in their entire lifetime. Yen Zheng was already very respectful to him for being a level 6 spirit pill master. If he knew that EMO could make level 8 or even 9 pills, he would definitely treat EMO significantly better. It was just a moment later, and the price had already raised to 1.5 million. EMO didn't bid at all, knowing that he couldn't afford it. There were many foundation establishment state cultivators in this auction, but it was the golden core state cultivators, or even the nascent soul state cultivators increasing the price. They weren't buying it for themselves, of course. If their sect or family had one more golden core state cultivator, their power would increase significantly. 2 million. A coarse voice sounded. EMO reached out his spirit sense carefully and found that the person who had claimed this price also came from a low-priced room. Chapter 866. Not enough spirit stones? Chapter 866. Not enough spirit stones. Emo could tell from the voice belonged to a woman. Emo couldn't scan his spirit sense in, as it could shield golden core state spirit senses or lower. No one bid for the core building herb after such a huge rise, and the woman eventually got it. Emo was regretful. If he had known that woman, perhaps he could have negotiated with her to make the cultivation increasing pill, and they could have gotten half-half. After the herb, the next few items were ordinary, so the audience gradually calmed down again. The next auctioned item is a stool of unknown origin. No one knows what this seed is made of. I can only tell it's something special. I hope the buyer is lucky. If anything goes wrong, the auction holder will not be responsible. The starting bid is 100,000 spirit stones. Each increment must be no less than 10,000. Lu Yao placed a stone stool on the table. It seemed difficult to handle and heavy. However, Emo almost jumped up in excitement. The stone stool in his ring had started shaking as soon as Lu Yao took it out. He had found the stone stool in the small world. He got the first one from Master Tianze, who had left it behind accidentally. He still couldn't understand what it was. The audience fell silent. Even the nascent soul state cultivators weren't hustling to get their spirit stones out. No one wanted to spend 100,000 to buy something that they didn't know what it was. 110,000. Someone finally made a bid after the silence. 130,000. It seemed like someone was taking the lead, and it led to a round of biddings. 150,000. 170,000. It had just been a moment, but the price had already gone over the 200,000. Emo was desperate. He knew he had to make a bid. 500,000. Emo called. Emo forgot that the more desperate he was, the more people would think this thing was relevant. 600,000. Someone else bidded. Emo was shook. He realized that there were too many wealthy people there. His wealth really wasn't anything compared to theirs. Even Emo stopped. He could tell now wasn't the time to bid. He had to wait until the audience calmed down. Lu Yin hadn't expected the stone stool to reach this price. She smiled sweetly. This unknown stone stool has reached 600K. Someone must have realized this is some kind of treasure. Although I also want the bidder to tell us what it is, I know it's impossible. Emo got furious at her when she suddenly said, "Okay, since one person recognized it, will a second person also recognize it? It's 600,000 now. Is there a higher price? There's only one opportunity." However, no one else made a bid and the scene fell silent for a while. Lu Yin then said, "First time for 600,000. Any more bids?" Second time dash, someone called. 700,000. 750,000. 800,000. Soon, the new round of bids brought up the price to 1 million.